You say it's not the same. Things have changed. No, it's so hard for me to hear what's wrong. What do you need? It's not enough. So many days of us, and can't you stay? Let's meet halfway. I know we've got no choice. I hear it in your voice. So we need our time to grow. No matter where we go, you'll always feel like home. I said, despite the rain, can't we try to let the sun arise in us? Growing pains, we've been through it all. I'll always be chasing our memories, and can't you stay? Let's meet halfway. I know we've got no choice. I hear it in your voice. So we need our time to grow. No matter where we go, you'll always feel like home.
Well, well, well. How are we? Hello, everybody. Is it not a fabulous Mentee Bee Monday? My light's a little dim. Let's fix that real quick. Duh! There I am. Hello. Hello, hello. How is everybody? That's better. Looking good. Looking great. How are you guys doing? Thanks everybody for being here. I'm so excited for today. What a beautiful day to have a mental breakdown, am I right? What a beautiful day it is. I can't think of a better day to have a mental breakdown than on a Monday. Thank you, Holly, for the primer, for the prime subber. Thank you so much. Holly was actually kind of first. Bridge claimed the first, which she's been kind of doing consistently now. So, epic on Bridge's part. Nia. Hi, Nia. Sorry, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for popping in for a second. I want to be here so badly, but I have a meeting. Oh, it's okay, Nia. If you can come back, love to see you. If not, have a great meeting. I will be posting this. I mean, I always post the streams, but I will be posting this one specifically on YouTube. So I'll post the full-length video on YouTube. It's on Twitch all the time, but I'm going to be posting this one on YouTube as well. If you want to go back and watch. If you want to go back and watch. Gopal's here. I can't believe it. Nick's here. I can't believe it. Gopal, I would have never expected Gopal to be in this stream. Gopal's been so excited for this stream. It's so nice. It's so nice. I love that. W Gopal. Try to jump back after meeting. Oh, nice. Hopefully your meeting's not too long. Hopefully. Gopal says, you beat me and I respect your game. Nia beat you, but Bridge was first. But also, Holly was actually first. She came in first with the subber. Weird. Double comments. Odd. Very odd. Doing great. Super hot in Utah. We set an all-time record for hottest temp in March this year. Everything's fine. There's no climate crisis. Last week for me, it was like 70 here in Pennsylvania. It was snowing outside earlier. I don't know. I don't know. 14 books. I might be at 1. If you combine all of the books I've read, I might be at 1 book this year. So, beat that. How can anyone not be excited for a stream with 2 of the most awesome people? Who? Kylie and Bidoof back there? Hello, princess. You're 4 months, so you're first. Tell them. I like the aggression. How's tax season? Don't ask about taxes right now, Bridge. Bring on the A1 mental health knowledge. I'm basically that lizard from Hoppers, the one that goes, lizard, lizard. Hey, yo, Trev. Hello, howdy doody. Howdy doody, Trev. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, why are we getting snow? I mean, you're in Canada, so makes sense. Makes sense you're getting snow. Dude, Hoppers was such a fun movie. Man, maybe I should watch Hoppers. I haven't, everyone keeps saying that they're watching it. I mean, I just kind of want to see the lizard again. I do have my lizard button. Let me pause the music so you guys can hear my lizard button in full effect.
Lizard, 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 lizard.
Is that enough?
Lizard.
Is that enough for you guys?
Lizard.
I could keep going. I could sit here the whole stream pressing the lizard button and I'd be chill with that. Wait, do it one more time. I got you.
Lizard, lizard, lizard.
How's that? Are we good now? Or do we need another? Okay, we're good. Nice. Thank you. All right. Thank God. Thank God. Almost thought we might have to do another one there, but good thing you let me know to stop. Okay. Today is a good day, baby. We got a lot planned. We got a lot planned today. One of the most exciting streams yet. I think I might be the most excited for this stream as opposed to any other stream I've done, besides maybe that one where I shaved my head for charity. That one was pretty epic. That one was pretty epic. So it's hard to top that one. But this one is either tied or very close. Very close. Today we are bringing on the lovely, the amazing, the knowledgeable Kylie Ellefson from All Minds Las Vegas. She is a therapist, a licensed family and marriage therapist who owns her own business, co-founded her own business, and they basically make very accessible mental health tools for everybody to use. And she really focuses mainly on journaling, all right? So she has all of these different prompted, guided journals that she does. And we're going to talk more about Kylie right before she gets on in like 20 minutes. But that's what we're doing for the main part of the stream today. But before that, we got to get our usual things out of the way. We have our question of the day today, and we have the Pengy Huddle Up. The Pengy Huddle Up. All right, so let's start with the Pengy Huddle Up. It is a Mentee Bee Monday. We have to do the Huddle Up. We have to do the Huddle Up. So let's get on over there. Let's get on over there, shall we? Also, by the way, guys, if you have any questions that you think of either now or later or at some point during the stream while we're chatting with Kylie, the therapist, if you have any questions, you can submit them. I have a new thing on my stream, which I should have done before, but we have a new thing on my stream where you can ask an anonymous question. You can make it anonymous, or you can just tell me who you are if you don't really care. But I'm not going to be looking at chat too much during the stream while we're talking because I'm going to be focused on the conversation. So submit a question. If you go into the underneath the stream in the about section, there's going to be a spot that says like questions, Q&A. There's like a picture. It says questions on it, okay? If you click that, it'll take you to a little Google form page, and then you can put your question in for either me, the therapist, or both of us. So do that. Bah, another couldn't hurt. You're so right. You're so real for that.
Lizard.
I got you. So yeah, I wanted to say that before we got into things. Is there any other things I have to get out of the way? I don't think so. Let me double check though before we start. Yeah. Okay. So question of the day. Do our huddle up. Then we're going to talk to Kylie about journaling, mental health stuff, and other tools for everybody. Then we're going to do a little impromptu journal session that Kylie's going to come up with on the spot. Then we're going to finish with the questions and answers. So any of the questions that you guys submit, I'm going to ask. I already have a couple from you guys that have sent them before the stream. Yeah. But you can also ask in chat during that time. So that'll be towards the end is when we're going to do the Q&A. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're so right for that, Holly. I'm going to pin that. Oh, wait. Maybe pin the link. You're so right. You're so real for that. I think. Yeah, there we go. Pin that. Done. That should be good. All right, so I have the link pinned in chat. Also, if you're interested in All Minds, checking them out, we have a couple new commands. Yeah, W Holly, for real. So that one is, it has the All Minds website, which is also down in the About section. You can click the logo in the About section. If you're interested in checking out All Minds after we get through everything, if what we talk about resonates with you in any way. Also, I should make it clear, I'm not sponsored or anything. I just really fucking love what Kylie is doing. The way I found her is I started looking through her stuff, and the way All Minds approaches journaling is very similar to the way I approach the stream. So she kind of combines all of these different ideologies, all of these different methods to improve your mental health, whether it be like self-help, whether it be spiritual stuff, whether it be psychology, whether it be different theories of communication. all these different things. So she uses this thing called systems theory, which is like looking at the holistic view of things and kind of putting it all together using all of the different little parts and interdisciplinary things, okay? Which is very similar to what we do. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It'll be, you guys will probably see a lot of similarities with how she does things and how the stream goes. So it's like a match made in heaven, baby. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, so Pengy Huddle Up. Pengy Huddle Up, 5 minutes on the clock. How are we doing today? Scale of 1 to 5. Put it in the chat. Scale of 1 to 5, how are we doing? 1 is you're having the most shit day of your life. It couldn't get any worse. And 5 being you're having the best day of your life. Couldn't get any better. 3 is like, it's another day. Just another day. Having one more of those days, and that is today. How are we doing? How are we doing? I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling great. I'm very excited for today. I'm probably around a 5, if I'm being honest. I'm like a 5 right now. Actually, I'll say 4.67 just so I can say 6.7. 6.7. All right, what are we doing here? Class was fun. We had guests from radio station come and talk about what it's like doing a show with a co-host. Doing a show with a co-host. I wouldn't know anything about that. That's fun. Did you know the guests, or were they anyone special, like when the TikTok voice lady came on? W. It's warm outside. I've been crazy productive. I feel like recently you've always been crazy productive. Is that true? Is that true that you've been just consistently crazy productive recently? I'm also going to put on some calming music. Some calming music. Set the mood. Let's go with this.
Whoa.
That's an ad.
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys.
Pause, wait for ad. I stopped paying for YouTube Premium because I'm poor. Beautiful. All right, let me turn down the music for me. There we go. There we go. Great. Kids are adorable. Yeah, they are. Playing D&D regularly again. Oh my god, I had the funniest interaction yesterday on Valorant Bridge. You just triggered a memory. So there was this guy, and I was playing with a woman. Whoa, chill. Playing with a woman in a video game, and you know sometimes that sets men off. And so this one guy was like, just, you know, being sexist and also racist and homophobic, all in the same vein. Weird how those go together. But he started making fun of me because, like, you know, I was talking back to him. So he was a dickhead. And so he says to me, dude, you sound like you play D&D. It's like an insult. And so I was just like, you don't like D&D? And he says back to me, he says, no, I love D&D. I'm actually a DM. I was like, what? Like, meanwhile, I don't play D&D. I know what it is, and I think it's cool. But like, he was trying to make fun of me for playing D&D, and then he like brags that he plays D&D and he's a DM. Anyways, it was one of the funniest games of Valorant I've ever had, because this guy was like so genuinely stupid, but also, I don't know, I find it fun to like really engage with those types of people. Just can't watch the news. Otherwise I'm at like a 2. I'm right there with you. I can't watch the news. Can't watch the news. I can watch it sometimes, but I like it. I take it in too much, so I try to avoid it. And a lot of times you just can't. Dave! Hi, Dave! 5? Dude, Dave's always a 5. Good to see you, Dave. High 5, brother. Big 5. Give me a big 5er. Boom. Gotcha, bitch. Definitely a 1.37. But stream has me at a 4. Hell yeah. Poor Gopal during tax season. No, Gopal. Yay, Gopal. At least in the short term. Nice. The 6.7 got me down to a 2.2. You were at a 2.5. You're at a 2.5? I feel like usually you've been doing pretty good. Why are you at a 2.5 today? Sorry to put you down at a 2.2. No, I'm not. Not sorry about it. Pretty consistently productive unless I'm depressed. Hell yeah, sister. Same here. You wonder why I haven't posted on social media for like 3 weeks straight? Depression. And a lot of pain, so sore from the IMS treatment today. Oh, that's today. I can't really type, but I'm here for support. Let's go. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Big hugs and kisses to you. The TikTok voice lady was actually also in the class. Oh, with their second years listening to the speakers. Hell yeah. First time they'd ever met, and the speaker's opening line was, "We're not as famous as..." Honestly, I feel like I would have to do that as well. If I'm coming in after the voice of TikTok, be like, look, I'm just not going to be... You guys aren't going to like me as much. Sorry. What else do you say? You're not gonna outdo the TikTok lady. It's not possible. 2 radio hosts, TikTok voice lady who's a radio host, and my teacher who's a lot of hosting of radios. It's a crossover episode, I swear to God. Nice. I feel like your classes sound so fun. I think I had like 1 or 2 classes that I really thought were fun in college. Lurking while playing Tuft. Have fun playing Tuft. Hope you get first. It's so valid, right? All right, we got about 8 minutes, so let's do the question of the day. Question of the day today. What is the question of the day? Is it gonna work? There it is. Nice. Question of the day. Very relevant. Put another 5 minutes on the clock. Very relevant to the stream today. What is your personal experience with journaling? I know for me, I've had like a love-hate relationship with journaling. We've been on and off together for like years, which is why I'm kind of excited to talk to Kylie today. Figure out why that is, maybe. So the reason I say I've had like a love-hate with journaling is because there's times where I'm like really good about it. Like I'm every day, you know, writing away in my little journal, or I'll have like 4 journals for like different topics, doing different things in each journal. And then like one day I'll just stop doing it for no reason. Just, that's it. Then there'll be times where like I'm just down in the dumps, which you guys know. So when I'm depressed, usually one of the first things I do is kind of like journaling, where I have my own method of journaling, which is just acknowledging the feelings I have and then asking questions, doing like a root cause analysis of the feelings, acknowledging them, and then deciding if I need to do anything about those feelings and about the root cause of them. And it's very similar to journaling in that way. So I'll like type my feelings a lot of times. A lot of times I do it on the computer. Sometimes I'll do it nowadays on in a journal, but a lot of times it's on the computer now for me. But I'll do that like if only when I'm like really needing it, okay? And so that's gonna be kind of one of my questions. Is like, is that okay? Like, can I just journal whenever? Like, is there like a right time to journal? Is there like a right day to journal? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why we bring on the professionals, baby. That's why we do this. That's why we bring them on so that they can tell us the right thing to do, and we can just sit there and go, yeah, okay, I hear you. So now I don't have to wonder about that anymore. Oh yeah. You hate journaling. Awesome. Great. I just checked my last journal entry was in July. Wow. I mean, honestly, you know, I have my journal here, and this was during a time where I had like 6 journals, okay? And each one had a different topic. And they all look like this. I should have bought different ones. I didn't. And the last journal entry was in 2023, but I've also used other journals since then. So I opened this and I was like, oh, that's funny. It's like 2023, but I've definitely journaled since then, mostly on the computer. But in this one in particular, 2023. What's in your journal, Trev? You got any secrets in there? Any secrets? Were you in love? Were you in love? Was it a great time of your life? Well, you didn't know me yet, so couldn't have been that good. Got him. Did a year straight of journaling. Wow, that's honestly like dedication. Dedication. Ooh, twice a day too. Writing it down and feeling it twice a day. That's a lot. I feel like that's a lot. Just conveniently forget it all. I feel like that probably kind of goes hand in hand though, because once you get it out on the paper, I feel like it kind of just like it's out now, you know, it's see ya, you know? I feel like it helps a lot with that. Had an on again, off again relationship with it. It has its moments for catharsis for me. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You kind of like just get it out there. Kind of just get it out. What I used to do was rap about how I felt, but not exactly something I've done recently. You've been rapping a little, well, not really, but you've been writing recently. That's something. I started it because I'd start therapy to help my relationship. That was at the start of June, so I only did it for about 2 months and stopped when I couldn't afford therapy anymore. Fair. So that's one reason why I really appreciate this stream and what Kylie's doing. Is she's making these things. One of the reasons why she doesn't do therapy, I don't think she does therapy anymore. Maybe she does here and there, but from what I understand, she stopped doing therapy, even though she's licensed to do it, and decided to go into journaling, creating these guided journals so that it was more accessible, more affordable for people. Because she was like, man, therapy is fucking expensive, man. Not everyone can do this. And so she wanted to help more people than, you know, just the people who were able to afford it. Very cool. So maybe you'll find this helpful. Maybe you won't. We'll see. We'll find out. It's going to be really cool. She created a challenge for us, by the way. She created a Mentee Bee 7-day challenge where she has kind of like how she has in her journals that she offers, you know, online to pay for, where they're prompted and you have like something to journal about every day. It's really cool. I put it in the Discord, by the way, so you can see it right now, but we're going to start it like today after stream. We're going to start it. Felt it in real time, then wrote it down, causing me to feel it a second time. Okay. And then it cements in my brain. Kind of, oh, that's weird. I've never heard that. It's interesting. I was also undiagnosed depressed, so everything I was feeling was negative. Then I was experiencing it twice. Fair enough. I feel like depressed people tend to ruminate. We talked about this one stream. Depressed people tend to ruminate a lot on feelings and like feel them very deeply. So it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense that you would like feel it. Then you're like, oh, I'm going to journal about this later. Feel it again as you write it. And you're like, fuck. And then you just keep thinking about it. Makes sense. All right. Kylie's going to be coming on in a moment here. So before she comes on, I just want to briefly introduce who this lovely woman is. So, should I just bring her on? Should I just bring her on first? And then let's do that. Let's just bring her on and then I'll start gassing her up. How about that? All right. Unis momentus while I get her on. She's the best, enough said. You're so right for that, Gopal. You're so right. All right. Look at this cute little digital scene I made for us too. Just for this stream. Look how cute. Except my head's not in it. All right. Beautiful. Alrighty. I'm about to bring her on here. Oh, I see her. Great. Oh, hello. Can you hear us, Kylie? Yay! Okay, you're coming through my headphones, and let me fix that on my end really fast. Actually, I'll just put my headphones on. Look at her. How are you doing today, Kylie? Great. Yeah, I was just saying, last week for me, it was really hot, and this week it's snowing in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah. You sure will. You sure will. Oh, wait. They're saying they can't hear you. Okay. Let's figure that out. See, I told you we'd have sound issues. Happens all the time. All right. Open up the link really quickly. That's odd. Okay, 1 second. I don't think it's on your end because I can hear you in my headphones, but I don't hear you. I see you coming up on stream, so I don't know why it's not coming through. Let me try something else. I'm gonna pause the music. I'm gonna open the link myself. Try something. Oh, well, now she's gone. That's This is going perfect. This is exactly how I envisioned this happening. Okay, well, at least we see her. She's back. Can you try talking one more time? Can you guys hear her now? It looks like it's working on my end. Ah, they still can't hear you. It's so weird. It's okay. It's okay. This happens with streams all the time. All the time. Let's try sending you through something else. Okay, see if that worked. Try
Did
one
you
more
send me an
time.
email?
No. I'm just
Oh,
saying,
okay.
guys, can you let me know if she's working?
Hello.
We here.
Yay!
Let's go. Thank God. All right. Perfect. Now that we got the technical
Did it.
issues out of the way, let's officially get this going. Thank you, Kylie, for being generous enough to come on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Well, let me introduce you real quick, get the people familiar with you. So Kylie is a licensed marriage and family therapist and co-owner of a company called All Minds. She uses her training in trauma, somatic work, couples therapy, systems theory to develop products to help people create meaningful change in their lives. Isn't that wonderful? Today, she's going to teach us about evidence-based journaling techniques. She's giving us our own personalized 7-day guided journaling challenge to try. We're going to talk about that at the end. And then also, if you guys enjoy how the challenge goes and how the prompted guided journaling goes, she's giving us our own 15% off coupon for her brand new journal series coming out April 1st when we finish the challenge. How cool is that? How cool is that? Anyways, thank you for all that, Kylie. I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to have the privilege of hosting someone like you on this stream, to share your professional expertise and just to have a nice little conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. I've never actually been on a stream before, so this is exciting for me. It's a whole new experience.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. Streaming's a good time. You're actually my first. I did one co-stream with someone who's also watching right now. Her name was Tea with Adri. I was on her stream, but I've never invited someone onto my stream. So you're the first person on my stream that isn't me. So first
So
for both of
honored.
us.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get right into it. So, Kylie, we talked a little bit before this, right? And you started off as a marriage and family therapist, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, how did you kind of go from marriage and family therapy to what you're doing now with All Minds and journaling?
Well, it was a lot of seeing clients, honestly. So I have been seeing clients for, gosh, almost 7 years now.
Mm,
And I think like one of the most difficult things about therapy is that it's usually 1 hour a week, right? Like you see somebody for 1 hour a week. And I had a lot of clients who saw me for less time than that. You know, they'd come twice a month or once a month. And you feel like there's a lot that you can do in that 1 hour, but in reality, like I don't see what their life is like. And it
mm,
felt really frustrating for me a lot of the time to be sitting in the therapy room and be trying to help people, but not able to influence, the other countless hours in their lives where I am no longer there. And so I really wanted to take a lot of this information and the training and the experience that I had seeing clients and give it to more people. So, one, not only are you able to do it yourself with or without a therapist, because I think it's important to know that like, not everybody wants to go to therapy, not everybody benefits from therapy. Like, it's just not realistic in that way. But also, for those who are in therapy, they have additional resources that they can use outside of sessions to continue what you're doing in session so that therapy even becomes more beneficial. So that was really what started it. And I had a friend who I went to college with. We were in the same MFT program together. We were both feeling this a lot at the same time. And so we were like, maybe we should start a company. Like that was just something that I don't know we could do, which I guess you can, but that doesn't necessarily mean I know how to run a company.
hey,
Learning.
maybe we should just like quit and start our own thing. Like,
Yeah,
well, hey, it's working,
as
right?
one does.
Yeah, it's
It's
totally normal.
working. It's a challenge for
Oh
sure,
yeah.
but I think it's something that is really needed in mental health because the field itself is very chaotic right now.
Oh my God, yes. And I'm sure we'll get into that in a little more detail later. But what
Yeah.
you said just now also really resonated with me because in pretty much every session I have with my therapist, I've been in therapy for, I mean, on and off for like a total of 15 years, but like consecutively, if you combined all of the time, probably like 10 years, I've been going the past 3 years straight. And pretty much every session at the end, she's like, oh man, an hour never feels like enough time. Like it never feels like enough. There's never enough time to talk about all the things you need
Yeah.
to get through. And so
Yeah.
it sounds like on your end, you're also kind of experiencing the same sort of thing. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Okay.
it often will feel like, you finally get into what you wanted to get into when
Hmm.
there's 10 minutes left in the session. And you're like, okay, well, sadly, we've got to wrap it up. So let's hope you remember that next week and you can start right there.
True. True. That's also true. I feel like a lot of times, like the first like half hour of therapy is just me, excuse my language. I swear a lot, but I'm just bitching for like 30 minutes. And then I'm just getting all the things out that I'm mad about in the first
Yep.
like 30 minutes or like sad about whatever. And then she's like, okay, now what are we gonna do with it? Like, what are we gonna do with this
Yeah.
information? Like, what should we do to fix this? And then by the time we actually get to fixing it, I'll like look at the clock and we'll have like 5 minutes left.
It's, it's the worst part about it. And
Mhm.
it's very frustrating because like I see in some of the comments, like therapy is very expensive.
It is. Yeah.
Like it costs a lot of money and there are so many therapists now who will not take insurance because insurance is such a mess and it's so difficult to deal with, on the practitioner side
Hmm.
that you really cut out a huge portion of the population who maybe needs therapy but does not have access to it and
That's
will
why,
not gain access to it.
right. And the other thing is there's not enough therapists to just go around. So
No.
like I remember when I was in like I was on like a wait list to get into therapy 3 years ago when I was getting another one. And I had to wait like 9 months or something like that to just get my first session in with the first available person.
Yeah.
Like that is a crazy long time, especially if you're struggling in the moment and you need help
Yeah.
like right then. Like that is too long to wait for a lot of people, I'm sure.
It is. And it's
Yeah.
very dangerous for a lot of people,
Yeah.
right? Because of those crisis situations. And of course, there are crisis hotlines and there are other resources, but that's very different than having somebody that you're specifically working with,
Right.
where it can be very damaging. And you would think, like now with, telehealth and how much bigger that has gotten, it would help, but
Mhm.
unfortunately it doesn't because of licensures and, like who can see who in which state and all of that stuff, which just further complicates it.
Right. Yeah, like if you don't have insurance, like oh my god, how are you gonna? There's no way. It's just straight up. There's no way unless
Yeah.
unless you're a trust fund baby or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
very expensive.
yeah. So is that kind of like the main reason that you kind of went away from the therapy space is because it wasn't one, it wasn't as accessible to the masses as you'd like it to be, but two, there's these other issues like there's not enough time, you can't really get in as much depth as you would like to, like 1 hour a week. Is there anything else that kind of made you say, okay, I want to, there's issues with therapy, so is there anything else that kind
Yeah.
of drove you away from that?
I mean, certainly all of those. And I think, to be honest, like burnout from my end too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I specialized for a long time, or for most of my therapy career, working with people who experienced like severe childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the majority of what I did. And that can be very exhausting just for me. Like I remember a few years ago, like I was very, very sick because my body like just could not handle the stress of therapy anymore. So, for my own mental health and safety, I also felt like maybe seeing clients is not only what's best for me, but not what's best for my clients either. Because if I can't show up, to help them, then like they're paying me for nothing. And
Right.
that's not right either. So it was a big combination of many different factors that led to all minds now for me and my business partner.
Yeah, I think that's something else that a lot of people don't think about too, is like a lot of times therapists need therapists. Like my
Yeah.
therapist has a therapist. Um, Therapy is really emotionally heavy when you're talking to multiple people a day. All of them are telling you their problems. It can feel like very overwhelming and very negative. Um, that's hard to do. It can be too much. It can be too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what problems in therapy did you feel like journaling and self help could fix that therapy really couldn't?
So it's funny that like we're talking so much about journaling because I actually have mixed feelings about journaling
Oh,
myself
okay.
and I create most of these.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think that journaling can be great.
Hmm.
That being said, I also am a firm believer that journaling is at its core a tool that is to be picked up and put down when it's no longer useful to you,
Okay.
right? Because once it becomes a chore and once it becomes like, oh, I have to do this, journaling is not helpful at that
Hmm.
point. And so with our journals, I actually wanted to get away from this idea of like, I have to journal every day. I have to just like sit and write down all my thoughts or what happened because one, I think that's boring. Like I tried doing that for a week and I was like, no, this is not for
This
me.
ain't it.
I really wanted to take a little bit of journaling and the guided, prompts of like, here's something that would be helpful, like questions that I would ask my clients, to really like deepen their reflection. But I
Hmm.
also wanted to add in more of like a workbook feel to the journals, right? Pages that I would create for clients to reflect on specific topics or adding in information that is more like psychoeducation based so that people could be learning and then, applying that to their lives.
Ooh.
And that's what I think makes All Minds different than a lot of journals is
Yeah.
because it's all of them are that format. They're not just, sit and grab a pencil and write. Like, I don't know. I just like, I wouldn't recommend that. I don't like that. I
Yeah.
want variety or else I get bored very easily. And so I wanted to make things that were exciting and they didn't feel tedious and they could still be picked up and put down, when it kind of suited your life, but you're also really learning and you're learning the things that you could learn with a therapist. But instead of paying, like $125 a session for 1 hour, you're paying just for all of the knowledge at once. Right.
Right.
And you can start applying it to your life and you can talk to people about it.
Yeah.
And that was what I really wanted with All Minds.
Okay. So with All Minds, would you even call it journaling? Because it's honestly so much different that I don't even know if you can call it that.
Yeah. I mean, because of mainstream life, like we call it journals,
Yeah.
really what we call it are journey books.
Okay.
Right? Because it's like the book is the journey, right? Like you're learning about yourself, and this is a book that you're going to use. But that people are like, what the heck is that? So it doesn't really sell. So we had to go back to journals.
It's like but it's kind of cool. It's like a play on words, journal.
It is. It is.
I like
I know.
that.
I felt very clever when I came up with it. I was like, this is a genius move. And then everyone's like, I don't know what that means. So not going to buy that.
I'm surprised. Honestly, if I had an idea like that, I wouldn't have the like humility to reel it back and be like, this isn't working. I'd be like, nah, this is too clever. This is too good. Gotta use
We're going to bring it back.
Okay.
We're going to bring it back.
Fair
We just
enough.
have to get enough people to be like, okay, it's sort of a journal, but it's actually way more than a journal. And then I'll bring it back in and I'll say, it's a journey book, you guys. We're journeying. It's going to be very exciting.
All right. Well, I'm going to be right there with you on that one. I'm going to be saying journey books over and over until people stop saying journal. They're not even going to know the word journal anymore by the
There
time
you
I'm
go.
done with it. Yeah.
This is a good plan because I do think like journaling is not for everybody. And we should stop trying to say that it is. Like, I think there's all sorts of other resources out there that we can use and we can make it more exciting and more attainable and more accessible. So
Right. And look,
journey
like,
book.
we already have Gopal asking what a journal
See?
is. He's already saying, what's a journal? I only use journey books. So already catching on.
As you should. It's catching on quick.
But yeah, so something you were saying just a moment ago was, and I feel the same way, I think probably most people do, is when they go to journal, a lot of times it starts to feel like some sort of tedious task. It feels like they're coming home from work and then they have to do more work. And it's like emotional work. And that's not fun. And it gets old very quickly.
Fun.
Yeah, like before
Yes.
we started talking, I was just saying I kind of have like this love-hate relationship with journaling where a lot of times I'll only do it when I need it, right? And then sometimes I'll be really consistent and I'll be writing, in 6 different journals about 6 different topics, and I'll do it every day for like, I don't know, a week, and then I'll just stop. Who knows why, But it's because, it's tedious. So I like the idea of having guided, prompted things and I've gone through your journals, by the way. And what I like in particular is you do something very similar to what we do on the stream, which is kind of have a holistic system where we pull like spiritual knowledge, we pull psychology knowledge, we pull information from communication, research, and I see all of that in your books. I mean, if you look at one of the journey books, not journal, that Kylie has on the All Minds website, I tried to list everything that I saw, and there's a lot more than what I have here. I had to stop listing how much is in these journey books, okay? So she has inner care workout, she has coloring books, coloring pages, I should say, a monthly calendar, activity goal plans, habit tracker, gratitude log, breathwork exercises, mindfulness exercises, and mindfulness log, 4 weekly planners and inner care plans, 4 dream logs, 4 activity notes, inspirational quotes, explanations of theories from psychology, like family systems theory, personality tests, and that's where I stopped. That's like almost 20 things. And that
That's
was
probably
in
not even one book.
journey book. Yeah, I was gonna say that was in one book, and you have I don't know how many journey books you have at this point, plus other resources.
I think I've made now 15 of them.
My God, it's incredible. Like how much effort I can tell you've put into these, and it's not just the one book. Like I was saying, it's like every book you have all of these different things, and you have information from Western thought, Eastern philosophy. Like it's from everywhere. It's very holistic, and that's something I really appreciate. I can see how much effort you guys put into these journey books.
Yeah. I definitely tried to pull in, a lot of the knowledge that I have gained through trainings and through clinical experience with clients. Of course, like that's not all of it. There's still tons out there that I don't know or I am not trained in, so I don't include it. But everything that I have used that people have found really beneficial, I finally decided, like, why do only my clients get these? Like they should be available to everybody, because I really do think, like, if we can collectively work on mental health, as a whole, then mental health just gets better.
Right.
But there is like this weird, like, gatekeeping sort of feeling in mental health, which is ironic because of the shortages of professionals. So it's all very confusing to me.
Right. Like that was a big reason. We talked about this a little bit. That was a big reason why I started streaming, is because I felt like you, it's just not accessible to everyone. And even though I'm not a licensed professional, I feel like just talking about it with friends, family, acquaintances, anyone helps people at least get the conversation going. Whereas usually you just kind of keep it to yourself, So I'm kind of curious. With that being said, what we've just talked about, do you think that these journey books or other self-help tools, any combination of them or just one of them, can that be like a replacement for therapy, or do you think it depends on the situation?
It definitely depends on the person. Like, we certainly don't want to advertise that it is a replacement for therapy, because, like, therapy still has a place. And I know that that's true. And there are definitely people who do benefit from seeing a therapist, especially in more complex, mental health scenarios, like severe depression and severe OCD, like some of these really serious ones. Go get help, right? I think that the journey books can be a great addition to therapy. And really, that was why I started it, because I was like, why don't my clients do anything outside of therapy? And then they come to me and they're like, fix my life. And I'm like, what do you want me to do here? I'm not sure. But I think for some people who are already doing a lot of the work on their own, this is the next best thing to having a therapist. Because it is like having, me, unfortunately, since I made them, like, it'd be like me in a book. You get me as your therapist, right?
True,
so I think it depends on what your needs are. And the books, I don't know, like, there are a lot of them. So, like, some of them will bring up things that are maybe a little bit more intense than you would have experienced. So, like, maybe then you would need to go talk to somebody else. But I also think that's where community can come in. And, my next thing after I get the journey books thing, I'm going to get journey book clubs where people are going through the books together, right? And they're like, okay, we're all working on these things. Let's work together. Because that is mental health now. All of the research in how do people get better? How do we heal from trauma? How does anxiety go down? How does stress go down? It's people. And unfortunately, you don't get that with just being in a therapist in a room by yourself, because the therapy room is just so unique. Like, it's not real life, really. Right? Like, it's such an interesting relationship to have with somebody, but it's not necessarily representative of what your life outside of the room looks like.
Right.
That was a really long answer to your question.
No, I love long answers. I have so much to go off of from that. One of the things that stuck out to me about your books is kind of exactly what you're saying, is it's kind of tailored to each person's experience. So there's like 15 of them, but they're all unique ones to different life situations, scenarios, issues that someone might be dealing with. And while you may not, I don't know, maybe you don't need to look at the romantic relationships one, maybe you need to look at the family dynamics one or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you have to go through all of them. You can kind of just like pick and choose what's relevant to
Mm-hmm.
you. And I feel like that makes it kind of for everybody.
That was the goal, at least, right? Because
You're
I
like,
do
yeah,
think
pretty much.
like everybody has these common issues, right? And like even to looking at romantic relationships in particular, right? Like a lot of people will say, well, I'm not in one, so this doesn't matter. But it does, because how you interact with relationships in general is going to show up when you are in a romantic relationship.
Yes,
And so
yes.
being able to be a little bit more, I think, proactive and really thinking about like, well, how would I want to, I don't know, express like love or appreciation in a romantic relationship, right? How do I want other people to do that for me? What boundaries do I need in that relationship to maintain my sense of self? Like these are things that maybe we should be asking, because then we can prevent some really dysfunctional relational patterns that
Right.
definitely come up, I think for everybody at some point.
Yeah, you're so right. There's two quotes. One I agree with, one I really do not agree with. The one I agree with is, the more you know yourself, the more you can learn to know others. I feel like that is very true. And I feel like therapy and self help, all of those things, these mental health tools that we have, where you learn to know more about yourself, it allows you to learn more deeply about other people. But the one I don't agree with is the you have to love yourself before you love other people. I don't agree with that one. Um, but as I was reading through specifically your book um, on relationships, it was kind of about like dating yourself, right?
Hmm.
Where it's like the focus is not really on other people for most of the journey book. It's more so about you, the individual, like learning more about you, what you need, um, past relationships, like what's been going on, what you've learned from them. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is exactly what I would have wanted from a book like this. Um, so yeah, I'm just kind of glazing you and saying how great you did with these books. I mean,
Thank
all of
you.
them, I can tell it's like you put in a significant amount of effort, research, all of that stuff. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I would agree. Like I don't necessarily buy the loving yourself as a concept. Like I
Mhm.
really like to focus more on one, compassion, right? Like there
Mhm.
is a lot of really strong research on being compassionate towards yourself and understanding. But I would say for these journey books, like my guiding value in creating them was curiosity,
Mm.
right? Like if we could all just be a little bit more curious about why we do things, right? Like how we're showing up in these different situations, why we say these things, then we can actually change them, right?
Yes.
Instead of like a stance of judgment, which I think is definitely where most people fall, right? And that's
Mhm.
coming from me, who like I consider myself very much a perfectionist. So
Mhm.
I'm always like, well, it's wrong. And now I'm like the worst therapist ever, and everybody's going to hate me. And this will never help anybody. So I'll like catastrophize very quickly into all of these things. But,
Yes.
I think if we can be just a little bit more curious, and that was really what I was hoping to do with these books, is like open that
Mm.
door of like, what if I could just be curious about it instead of
Yes.
judgmental about it?
Yeah, that actually tells me a lot about you as a person, because I feel like they're almost like opposites, where a perfectionist and someone who has a lot of humility, who's like humble, they're kind of like opposites in a way. So in order to go from like a perfectionist where like I have to be perfect, like I have this massively high standard for myself, and then to be like okay, but that's not how I want to be. I want to be curious about people. I don't want to judge people, don't want to judge myself. I feel like that takes a lot of like courage and strength to move from that to there. How cool. How cool.
It's yeah, it's a daily effort
It
for
is. And
my
I'm the same way. Like that's how I am.
yeah.
I feel like I'm a perfectionist. I'll say I'm a recovering perfectionist. How about that?
Yes. I
Yeah.
did when I made those pages, perfectionism is definitely in one of the books. I made those for me.
Mhm.
And then I was like, maybe other people are crazy like I am. It's
I,
fine.
I'm curious. Have you tried your own journals?
I have.
You
Yep.
have. And
I
how
have
was your
used all of
experience?
them.
All of them. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a few questions now because I wasn't expecting you to have tried all of them. So
Mhm.
I guess first question is, what was your experience having gone through, let's say, your first one?
Humbling, honestly, because I made them and I was, very intentional about what I wanted in there. I kind of thought that I knew all of the answers for myself.
Mm,
So to actually go through them and like really think of like how would I answer these questions? I didn't know.
yeah.
And then like I would write stuff down and I'd be like, that's not what I wanted to see about myself there.
Okay,
So
so guys, if if you feel like you're not doing well, just know that even the people who are telling you what to do are also struggling and not doing as well as they would like to be. I feel like that's very validating.
yeah. Yeah, it's honestly one of the worst things about being a therapist is because in the moment I know
Hmm.
that I am like can I cuss on here too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I know I'm fucking it up in a conversation.
Yeah.
And then in my head I'm like, don't do it, Kylie. Don't you're a therapist. You should know better. But still doesn't stop me. And then I
Yep.
have to figure it out later. So
Yep. There's so many
it's rough.
times where I'll say this because I've been in therapy for so long. Like I know what the therapist is doing. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
I'll know the questions she's gonna ask a lot of times. Um, and so I'll say to her, I'll be like logically, I know what you're saying. I know what I'm supposed to do, but emotionally, this is what
It's
I'm
just not gonna
feeling.
happen.
Yeah, right, right. Like I know the right
Yeah.
thing to do. It's not gonna happen, like you said.
Yep. 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 We gotta run it into the ground first and then be like, ah shit. It's
Yep.
time for me to figure it out again.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I kind of want to do a little bit of a gear shift here and talk more about maybe some of the mistakes that people make when they're doing journaling, guided journaling, or using some other mental health tool. Okay, so a lot of times when people tell me they're trying to do mental health self-help, like if they sit down to do meditation, they're trying to do breathing exercises, maybe it's
Mhm.
journaling, something else like that. um, they'll say I try it, and I have this experience as well. I try it and a lot of times it doesn't work for me, whatever the self-help tool is. Or they'll say I tried it and it worked, but like now I'm not consistent with it. So my question is, what works with these mental health tools like journaling and what doesn't?
I like to start first with like intention, right?
Mm,
What is your intention going in? Because unfortunately, and I'm going to generalize for sure here, is
mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us have a very like all or nothing thought pattern, right? Like I either have to be all in and it's going to be great, or I suck at this and it never works for me and I'm never trying it again. And that is part of the problem, I think, with a lot of mental health tools, is because, right, like the research says that this is going to help, and everybody else is like, oh, yeah, meditation is so amazing. Like, you see all these benefits. Like, it's going to work for me. The first time I do it, it's going to be amazing. And that's not life. So, I think getting clear on like what is your intention here and what is realistic from the experience.
Mhm.
Like I do like meditation. I've been meditating for like gosh, like almost a decade now, and I would still say I kind of suck at it. Like my brain is like squirrel 98% of the time, and I'm like just focus on your breath, right? Like that's what they tell you. And yet I'm like squirrel, look, something's
Oh.
outside, right? And but I do still see a benefit in doing it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's one thing. And then the other thing that I think is not talked about enough,
Mhm.
specifically with mental health, is the patience that
Mm.
you need
Okay.
because it takes time to build a lot of these skills, right?
Yeah.
Like I would often compare it to working out at the gym, right?
Oh,
If
me
you go into the
too.
gym, right? You too, right?
Yeah.
You go into the gym and you're like, I'm going to lift this weight and now I'm going to be buff for the rest of my life and never have to do it again. That's also not real, right?
Mhm.
Like it is very much a skill that you build.
Mhm.
And it's something that is so different than what you've been doing for so long that if you don't exercise it and you don't practice it, it won't work.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. Right. And that's very true with meditation. That's very true with like breathing exercises or grounding skills or all of these different things. I teach them and then they're like, well, they don't work. I'm
Yeah.
like, how many times have you tried it? And they're like, three. Like, okay,
Yeah.
no wonder it didn't
Honestly.
work, right? Like you've been doing the same thing for 20 years. Of course it didn't work after trying it three times. But
Yeah.
that is what unfortunately I think a lot of people think.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people on social media will tell you that that's true, which is also problematic.
Yes. Guys, does this sound familiar? Like, are we this is I've said some of the exact same things where that's kind of like, and that's how they sell it to you. A lot of these like
Yeah,
meditation apps or self-help tools that people are trying to sell you, they'll make it sound so easy. Like it's, you
so
just have to
easy.
do these three things and then you're going to be motivated forever. You're never going to worry about finding purpose in your life ever again. You're done. That's not how it
Yes,
goes. That's
which would
never
be
how it goes.
amazing. Ah,
I
I wish.
know.
Wish.
I
But
know.
no,
Yes. So yeah, I say that. And the other thing that you said, which I say this all the time, I say therapy for me is like going to the gym every week. If I don't put in the reps, I'm gonna be sad. I'm not gonna, you gotta mentally strengthen yourself. You can't just
you do.
let your brain atrophy, let your emotional intelligence atrophy. Um,
Yeah. And I
so
think it
yeah,
comes with a lot of learning
yeah.
too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know about you, but like my parents never taught me any of this shit. They didn't tell me to feel emotions. They were like, do that on your own time. Like, we don't do sadness or anger or like any other feeling. Like, put on a smile and that's it. And so
Right.
you grow up and you have no baseline knowledge
No
for like,
skills.
how do I identify emotions? What do I do with them after? How do I talk about them when, your family's just like, shh, keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot of learning that you have to do in order for any of the tools to even become relevant to your life, which
Right.
we often bypass that too, right? We don't want to do the learning or we don't know where to start with the learning or right like nobody tells you about it and then they're like here's this tool that's going to be life changing and then you're just stuck because this life changing tool is not helpful.
Right. And Adri just said something which I think is interesting. She says they didn't have the privilege of assessing their emotions like we do. I also think they also had the privilege of not being forced to. Because I think the time they lived in is very different. I feel like now we live in a time where we are coming to the point where we have to. There's so much information we're taking in. We get news from all over the world. We compare ourselves on social media to literally every person that exists. There's so much happening with the media, with the
Hmm.
news telling us all these horrible things are happening out there. Where men get ready to go in the draft, we're going to war. There's so much going on that I feel like we have to learn our emotions. We have to learn
Yeah.
how to deal with them. Whereas before, when all of that information wasn't accessible, wasn't globalized, you didn't really have to. It wasn't like you need to learn this or else, you'll suffer serious consequences like it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, right, like there are always generational influences on these things of like what people could and couldn't do. But like you said, like we're I think in such like a unique time period
Mm-hmm.
where now there's an option to do it differently
Mm-hmm.
because we have so much access to information, right? Like we're not waiting for the newspaper to come, every Sunday to learn about what's happening in the world. Like I could open my phone and probably get 19,000 notifications
Right.
and then know like everything in the world, which is too much
Too
information.
much, way too much.
So it is an interesting balance of like how do we create something new from this, well, of course recognizing
Mm-hmm.
that like that is true, like many generations that was not an option and it wasn't necessary like you said to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but now that it is, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree 100% with you there. So I want to circle back to mistakes that people are making with mental health tools, with journaling, that sort of thing. So what do you think is the biggest mistake when someone says to themselves, okay, I'm going to commit myself to journaling. I'm going to do this thing. What do you think is the biggest mistake?
The biggest mistake.
Or
Oof,
even
that's a tough one.
what's the most common one you see?
I think overcommitting to it is the most
Okay.
common one.
Interesting.
It,
Okay.
because I think it goes back to my all or nothing, like
Okay.
you overcommit to like I'm going to dedicate myself to this for all time and it's going to work out, and you're feeling really motivated about it at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then motivation falls off and you no longer have a plan,
Yeah, it just
right,
tapers
of like
off.
what that's it's like, okay, well now I've stopped and I can't get back on because I've failed somehow at this.
Right.
So I guess maybe like two part, right? Like overcommitting and not having a plan for when you're not motivated anymore.
Yeah, a lot of times I feel like people will overcommit because they have such high expectations. And so a lot of times, like we talk about expectation setting, when you have a high expectations of something, but then it's not realistic, when the realistic thing happens, you're like, oh, this is like not what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So like what you were saying earlier, where you try it like 3 times, but it doesn't really do anything for it's so relatable because I remember when I tried meditation for the first time, I tried doing it at like the worst time possible. It was in the middle of COVID, and it was during my lunch hour when I was working like a super stressful corporate job. And so I would go and my expectation was I would just go like by myself. I would start doing a little bit of breathing, just focus on my breathing, and then all of my stress would go away. And what had ended up happening in reality was I would go in there by myself, start trying to focus on my breathing, and then I would just focus on trying to be less stressed, and then that would make me more stressed, thinking about
More
trying to be less
stress.
stressed. And so I'm like,
Yes.
well, this doesn't work. That was a bunch of bullshit.
I
And
know.
then I didn't try it again, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not
I think
thinking
like it's important to note, like when you're learning new things like that, to actually, and I tell people this all the time, like you have to practice it when you're actually feeling pretty good.
right.
Because if you are like, wow, I'm so stressed out, I'm going to try this thing and it's never worked and I've never done, and fingers crossed, it's probably not going to work because it's never worked before. So why would it,
Yeah.
right? Like when you're really stressed out.
Yeah, at the worst
So
time possible. Yeah.
the worst time. Yep. And I think that, I mean, COVID was so interesting because I think that's when a lot of this really did blow up, right? Like people are trying all these different things and seeing what works. And now it's just kind of a mental health in general is just sort of a clusterfuck of issues.
Right. And I mean, I think that's another kind of issue we're experiencing now with all these different sorts of mental health people that are like claiming to be professionals and selling you these easy ways of fixing yourself, what I guess what
Yeah.
makes guided journaling what you guys are doing, what makes what separates you guys from maybe other people who are selling like maybe like a similar sort of freehand journal, but they're claiming it's for mental health. You know what I mean?
I think a big thing is because it's gotten so popular, is a lot of the people who are creating them aren't actually in mental health.
Mhm.
And I do find that that can be very problematic when you're teaching people specifically about mental health, because like any other profession, like there is a language and there is a lot of learning and understanding of like what is going to be helpful and what's actually going to be harmful for people,
Mhm.
that you do need to know before you're just like, okay, here's information, this worked for me, so hopefully it works for you.
Yeah.
um so I think like having our professional background and knowing, like between the two of us, me and my business partner, like we have, I don't even know how many trainings we have done at this point, right? Like we have the training, we have the education, we
Right.
have the actual clinical experience of what it was like working with people, in the therapy room during these really difficult times. And I think that's what's different, right? Like so many other companies are owned by tech people, right? By business people,
Yeah.
which is great because they're good at business,
Yeah. They're
but
gonna
it's
make
not great
money.
for the
Yeah.
product itself. Yeah, like they're
Mhm.
going to be great at making money,
Yep.
which is wonderful for them.
Mhm.
But I think it's also damaging for people because mental health is such a vulnerable topic.
Right.
Like the amount of damage that can be done, with products that people don't really understand, with information people don't really understand, is very scary, like coming from the profession itself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was from seeing people who would tell me all the time about their TikTok therapist. And then I would be like
Right.
pulling out my hair. I'm like,
Yes.
but your real therapist is sitting right here.
You're like, I am the one
And I didn't
that
say that.
knows. It's
I
hard.
can't even tell you how many times they would come in and they'd sit and they'd be like, okay, Kylie, I've decided I've diagnosed myself with fill in the blank.
I have
Usually a
ADHD. I
personality
have,
disorder. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, what are you
I have
doing?
BPD. Yeah. What? So many people are
BPD, that one was,
self-diagnosing. Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
yes. So I do think that like that is what makes All Minds different from a lot of these, is like
Mm.
we are in the fields.
Right.
Like August, my business partner, still sees clients. I just
Mm.
stopped seeing clients just a few months ago.
Mm.
Um, so we have the actual experience and the
Right.
tools that are helpful. And then I just also think like I was tired of having so many different books, like workbooks and journals and planners and this and that, that I was like, why aren't they just all in one?
Yeah.
Makes it easier for everybody. And so like having something that's just an all-in-one resource, I think is much easier. And you're more likely to do it if I'm not like, oh crap, where did I put workbook number 12, here
Yeah.
that I was
Yeah.
supposed to do to figure out why I can't engage in conflict with my spouse. So
Yeah. And then sometimes you don't find it, and it's just lost
and then it's
forever. And you're
over.
like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
No, it's over. And then like I think the other side of it too
Mhm.
is we really did want to give people really good information, but that made
Mhm.
sense, right? And
Right.
it was easy to understand and it wasn't like super jargony with all of these words, so that you are getting that learning component, which I do think is so important to actual growth later on.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking kind of about like expectation setting, what the people that are successfully selling mental health content that really they don't have the license or the qualifications for. So what should people realistically be expecting when they sit down to do a journey book, or even to just freehand journal? If they wanted to do a freehand journal session, what should they be expecting on their first session versus, I don't know, maybe they've been doing it for like a month?
Realistically,
Mm.
here on your first session, I honestly don't expect much of anything.
Okay.
Right? Like I really do think it's like the first session of therapy. And if you I know you've been to therapy, like I've gone to therapy. The first session is awkward. And
Yes,
you're
it
just
is.
like, oh, it's like it's so uncomfortable. And you're like, what am I doing here? Who is this strange person? Like, what is
Yep.
happening in life right now? And you don't get a lot out of that, right? Like you
Mhm.
kind of get like a vibe and you're like, I don't know if I like this person. Maybe I do. I don't know. That's sort of all I'm figuring out. And I do think like with journaling and with the journey books themselves, the first session should just be about figuring out how you feel about it,
Mhm. Okay.
right? Is this going to be the tool for me?
Okay.
And also remembering that the first session is not the one that actually matters, right? Like, yes, you started, which is great,
Mhm.
right? But if I'm going to really be intentional about like, what do I actually want my life to look like at the maybe at the end of this book, that's more important than how is this first session? Like, I didn't notice anything different. So, and this is an impossible task, but I'll put it out there anyway, right? Like, the goal is really to expect nothing in it.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
I do it every time I open a journey book and it never works, but I'm still trying, right? Because if you don't have expectations, I do find like that's when you start to really figure things out because I'm
Yeah.
no longer like limiting what I'm saying or trying to find something in what I'm doing. I'm just experiencing it. And
You know,
that's it.
that's something I always struggle with is
It's
lowering my
so hard.
expectations. Yeah.
It's
Um
so hard.
something an ongoing conversation I have with my therapist is what about just today is the question she'll ask me, which what she means by that is what if you just thought instead of thinking, okay, I have to do this every day for the rest of my life, the all or nothing thinking that like you're mentioning,
Mm.
um, what if we just like tried it today and see how you felt afterwards? You know, you don't have any expectations of it. You just kind of like, you know, you want to do it, so do it. You know, you don't expect to go tomorrow. No expectations. That's so
Yeah,
hard to do. It's like so easy to
I
understand.
know. Yeah,
It's
in
so hard to
theory, it's like a
do.
simple process.
Yeah.
In practice, it's very difficult.
Yes.
But I do think like that's so important because if you're not tying yourself down to like, oh God, I have to do this every day,
Yeah.
then you are more likely to just do it because you can do it and you can be like, okay, like that felt pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't, now I'm done and maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, and it kind of
That's it.
removes the pressure. Like it kind of like
Yeah.
takes it off of you where it's like okay, like I just did it and I'm not expecting to do it tomorrow. I don't have to do it tomorrow. I'm not just, you know, I did
Yeah.
a thing and now it's done until tomorrow
Now
when
it's
maybe I
done.
do it tomorrow again.
Yeah. And I think it's also important, specifically with mental health and personal growth, that we recognize like sometimes the goal isn't to feel better,
Yeah.
right? Like I know you've experienced that in therapy. Like sometimes you leave a session and you feel worse,
Yep.
right? And you're like, fuck, why do I pay for that? Like
Yeah.
I don't feel better at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, in trauma work, that can take years, where people come to me and they're like, I have not felt better, you know, but change is still happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the goal is not like this is going to make me better, right? But maybe it's like this is going to make me more aware. This is going to make me, like more compassionate, like whatever it is, not necessarily feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Then also I think more growth will happen.
Yes. You know, that reminds me of this is kind of a little bit off topic, personal anecdote here though. Um, with the therapist I have now, who is amazing. Uh, my first 20 weeks, I remember the first 3 sessions. I mean, the first session is always just like you giving context about your life, like
Yeah.
answering all these different questions, and it's usually not fun. But after my first 3, I was like, man, I do not think this is going to go well with this therapist. But I kind of just stuck it out, which in retrospect, honestly, maybe wasn't the best idea. But for the 20 weeks that I went to this therapist, at the 20-week mark, I was like, I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat as when I started. And my therapist did this thing that I've never had a therapist do, which is she did a like review session where she asked
Mm,
questions of what do you feel like is the same? What do you feel like is different? What do you want to work on? What do you feel like you've gained so far? And so when I actually sat down and answered these questions, I was like, oh my God, I've actually like learned so much in these 20 weeks. Um, but it felt like I was in the same spot. And I feel like a lot of people
mhm.
feel that way with therapy where a long time happens and maybe it feels like nothing is changing really. Your situation doesn't feel like it's changing, but internally a lot is going on. A lot is happening internally. It's just not showing externally yet. Um
Yeah.
and so I stuck it out and then we did that every 20 weeks. And we still do that. And I found that to be so helpful in kind of like especially as someone who's depressed and has trouble recognizing accomplishments. It's so
Mhm.
helpful to force myself to look back and
Yeah, absolutely.
see those accomplishments or try to find the accomplishments.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, and I think it's so important in the therapy room to have feedback
mm,
because you don't know, especially like with something as vague as mental health and growth and change. Like things are slow, right?
mm.
And they're very small things that start to change. And then eventually you're like, oh, look at that. But like that was something that I always did in my therapy sessions as well, as I would constantly be like talking to, my clients of like what's helpful, what's not helpful, like what are you seeing in your life that is starting to be a little bit different, because it's, I mean, not only helpful for the therapist because then they know like, okay, we have to change course, like this isn't working or like it is, but it is also very helpful for you because you're like, oh, like I have changed,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
maybe it is only that, like I I'm kind of a conflict avoidant person, which is again an ironic therapy thing
It is,
here.
yeah, that is kind of
But
ironic.
I know, isn't that crazy? But like, like something that I could look back on and be like, look, I didn't avoid conflict, a couple
Mm,
times this month.
yeah.
Like that has changed. I'm not saying that I didn't never avoid conflict because I certainly still do. But when I can start seeing those in there, then like that you are changing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like like with physical health, like this isn't something that ever ends. Ideally, we're
Mhm.
doing this until we die,
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with yourself for
right?
life, unfortunately. That's just how it is for everybody.
Kind of. Yep.
Yeah.
But we can make it better.
Exactly. Yes. So with all that being said, what psychologically should people be expecting in terms of like the benefits of journaling? What should they be, what not should, I feel like that's kind of like not the right word I want to use, but what in general could people be experiencing as they do journaling or one of the other things that All Minds offers?
I mean, there are obviously like research wise, there's a ton of great benefits to journaling. Like, and you've already talked about some of them, right? Like, it has been shown to help reduce anxiety, depression, stress for most people. Like, I think that is type of journaling specific because people who do tend to write only about their day don't often experience that because it is like a rumination thing.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like those are things that you are reducing. I think for us, one of the biggest things that I like to highlight with journaling or using our products is, right, like externalization, which is just a really fancy word for like I am taking what I'm experiencing and I'm getting it out of myself. Right? Like that in itself is regulating
Mhm.
and it's great for your body. Right? Like there is a reason people do like, they go for walks when they're feeling really stressed. Like we need to get some of those chemicals that run through our body with these specific feelings, like cortisol and too much adrenaline and all of these things that our body is not meant to maintain. We need to get them out. And journaling actually does do that, right? So when you start to regulate and you are able to literally move some of that out of your body, like you sleep better, you just feel better, right? Stress goes down, which means your blood pressure gets better, your heart rate gets better, like all of these physical things happen too. And then I think that another thing to really be aware of is like it does often create a lot of clarity, and that's good and bad, right? Because sometimes you learn things, like I said, that you're like, I really didn't necessarily want to see that
Yeah.
about myself.
Yeah.
But now you have the opportunity to do something about it.
Mhm.
And so there is a lot of more clarity and thought and ability to really think about what am I going to do next that comes through journaling. And I also want to say, like, the reason we didn't do any journals that you can type in is because there is like a different chemical connection in your brain when you physically write, right?
Oh,
That is more beneficial than typing. So
okay.
typing, because many of us can type automatically, right? Like we don't think about typing because you know all the keys, so you just type and things are happening. But when
Interesting.
you're writing, it's like it's more physical. It really like slows down your heart rate. It helps you to regulate in your body much more than typing. So that's why we
Wow.
like people to write specifically.
Wow, that's fascinating because I used to be someone who writes physically in journals, and then I stopped doing that, and I've been typing on the computer to do journals. I have like an app that I use. Um, yeah, I didn't know that. That makes sense when you say it out loud, but that's not something I knew.
And like given the choice, right? If you're like either I'm going to type or I'm not going to do anything, then of course typing
Mhm.
is going to be better. But if you have the option and you're like I could write, then that would be the best
Okay,
of
okay.
the three.
I laughed just now because I read what someone just said. Trev says, "Is this why my typed study notes never fucking work?"
Probably because you didn't write them down.
I knew that in school that it's better to write and you'll remember things like physically. So I always wrote when I was in school, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was like a. I didn't know it would feel different. But
Mhm.
hearing you say, it, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously. But yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know that. That's cool.
yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
it's cool. Yeah. I love all the brain chemistry stuff. So I won't
Yeah,
get it too much into it, but it is fascinating.
it
Like
is.
because it's totally a different like neural pathway that gets used in the brain when you physically write versus typing,
Okay, well,
which
I'm
is
gonna be
so
doing that.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, I want to just check in with you. We're about an hour mark here, a little bit over an hour. How are you feeling? First of all,
Oh, I'm feeling good.
feeling good? Cool.
Yeah.
Do you need to take a second, a breather, go to the bathroom, get a drink, anything like that?
No, I'm okay. I don't hear my kids screaming, so that seems like a good sign.
Kids not screaming is a good sign. Okay, awesome. We
Good
have
sign.
about 20-ish minutes to go. I'm going to take a
Okay.
drink myself because throat's getting a little dry, but yeah, this is good stuff. I'm learning so much, I feel like.
I'm glad. I feel like I'm using my therapy brain again. It's been rusty for a few months, so it's good for all of us.
Good, good. I'm bringing it back out for you.
Bringing it back.
Excellent. All right. As you were talking about like going on walks, like releasing cortisol and all of the other things that we need to get out, I found myself doing a really nice deep breath and I was like, "Ah, that's why we do it." It's a
Why?
perfect
I actually
example,
do love breath work. I got
right?
trained in breath work too. I think it's such a good one.
Oh, well, okay, let me ask you about that really quick. Um because I know there's different exercises and I've tried different
Mhm.
ones. what's kind of like your go-to breathing exercise, or maybe actually let's do one you recommend for someone who has never done it before.
For someone who's never Okay, well, I'll just tell you my favorite one and we can see what
Okay.
you decide. So my
All right.
favorite one is actually the humming bee breath. Have you ever done that one?
No, what is
No.
that?
So it's an inhale, and then when you exhale, you're literally humming because humming is a great way to regulate your nervous system. So, uh, I mean, I don't want to like hum really loudly into the microphone, but that's
Can
what
we
it
try
is.
it? Can we try really quick?
Yes, you can.
Okay, if you guys want to try it too, like feel free. I'm gonna do it myself.
So you would in a full breath. Let me roll up my sleeves
Do I have to
here.
close my eyes?
Ideally, what you would do is you would actually close your eyes and hold your ears closed. So I'm wearing my glasses, so I won't do it. But because then you can hear yourself humming. It's kind of a weird experience, but you don't have to do that part of you're wearing headphones. So try it later and actually hold your ears if
Okay,
you
okay,
can.
okay,
So what you would do is you would be breathing in, take a
okay.
nice deep breath. You want to breathe in from your stomach. So really
In
pushing
my
out the
through my nose
diaphragm.
or through?
Yeah, through your nose.
Okay.
Nice deep breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to hum. All the way to the end of your exhale. You just keep humming.
I stopped halfway. I didn't do a good
You
job.
stopped halfway. You can try it again.
Let's see, I'm a perfectionist now. I'm pissed at myself. This doesn't work. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It does. It does. It's actually it's my favorite one.
Okay,
So
okay.
you have to like it because I said
Okay.
so.
Okay, okay. All right.
So
All right.
yeah, breathe in
All right.
and then hum out.
I feel like I can keep going for a long time.
You probably can. Yeah.
Okay.
You would hum all the way till you get to the bottom of your exhale and then you'd breathe in and do it again.
Okay.
Right? You're literally humming. It feels silly, but
Okay.
it actually is like one of the best regulation, especially if you close your ears up because right there's a lot of like important things in your ears like bones and different things that are connected to the brain
Mhm.
that if you close them and you listen to yourself hum, it's actually helping your heart rate regulate, which is great for
Interesting.
anxiety, right? Because with anxiety or high stress, usually that's the first thing that happens is our breathing gets really shallow. So you're helping with that by having a long exhale and your heart rate goes up because you're breathing really quickly. So that's what's telling your body like, "Oh crap, I'm going to have to run or fight or like do something." And we're trying to down regulate that.
Yeah.
So
I'm like I'm fascinated by the ear thing because I've first of all never heard of doing the ear thing, but I feel like in my head without doing it, I feel like if I was covering my ear holes and I did that, I would feel like the vibration in my head a
you
bit,
would.
and that would
Yep.
be soothing as well.
Yep. Yep. That is actually why you cover your ear because you do feel the vibration,
Wow.
right?
Cool.
And that's why you also cover your eyes technically because, right, like then you're just focusing on one sense at a time, right?
Wow.
It's starting to also limit, obviously, like sight, which is distracting for a lot of people. And you're feeling the vibration, but you're also limiting sound.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Wow. This is new. See, I all I know is like the box method, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know.
I
The
know
box
that
method
one.
is
There's like
fine.
another one
That
with
one's
numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbered ones. 478 is a really common one
That's the
that
one I was
people use
thinking
a
of. Yeah.
lot for sleeping, but those ones are great. Like they can work. I don't know, they get boring to me. So
I like the one with
plus I
beats.
like
It
to
sounds
hum.
more interesting.
So
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of reminds
Then you
me
just
of
like
like
walk around and you hum and people are like, "What's wrong with you?"
ah,
And it's fine.
just out and about. You're like on the subway or something. Just people would probably
It's
think
a
you're
good
crazy.
experience.
Awesome. All right.
Hey, at
Well,
least I'm well regulated, right?
right.
So
Yeah. I mean, people already think I'm insane, so it's not. It's just another day for me, honestly. You know.
yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
we're probably all a little bit insane, so
True.
fine.
Some more than others, but we've we have our fair share probably. Norse, there's someone in chat. Norse Herald is saying this is improving his their posture as well. It's
Oh,
improving his
good.
posture.
Breath work is great for improving posture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
And
anyone else?
if
Go ahead.
has anybody else done breath work? Oh, I was gonna say, like, the other great thing about breath work specifically is
Mhm.
it works out your diaphragm, which is actually the muscle you want to build, right? So that you become less of a lung breather and your diaphragm starts moving more, which helps
Oh.
with back pain and shoulder pain.
Oh wow, I could probably use that.
Yeah,
I'm getting up there in
same.
age.
Speaking of, I should probably sit up a little bit straighter.
Why
now
don't we
that
all
I'm
just do a little?
thinking about it.
Woo. Yeah. As a tall guy, that back pain, I know it's coming. It's already starting. It's already starting a little bit.
Isn't that
30s are gonna
sad?
be rough for me, I'm sure. Um, GoPaul is saying we're hum, or no, Trev is saying we're hum maxing. I don't know if you know what maxing is. That's one of those new kid terms, Gen Z terms. Right
Yeah, I
over
try
our
not to
heads,
ask my
Trev.
kids about that.
I love that he
There's too
said that
many of
though.
them. I can't keep track. I'll ask my daughter after so that
Well,
she can be embarrassed about me, my old age.
okay. It's not an actual term. Hum maxing is not a term, but there's looks maxing, which is
Okay.
okay. You're gonna judge me, but it's okay. I'm used to it. So, looks maxing is kind of like you're focusing on how you look to like an extreme extent. So like a lot of times when people say they're looks maxing when they're a guy, they'll be like focusing on their jawline. So they'll go like, ugh, they'll like do one of these and they'll be, oh, look at the jawline. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
Society.
yeah, you're missing out. I got to keep up with the
I,
times, Kylie.
I don't know. I think I'm okay missing out on this one.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. I'm embarrassed to know that information, actually. So, all right. Let's get back to the journaling before we. I keep
Yes.
saying journaling, but it's more so just mental health in general. Okay, so
Yeah.
I want to kind of talk about like practical journaling more so because we've kind of been talking about how it works in theory so far.
Hmm.
So, what should someone do? Because you know, like we talked about, a lot of times people will be kind of like inconsistent with it. So if someone says to themselves, well, let me ask this first, actually. What is a reasonable amount of time, or how much should you be journaling in a given day, week, month?
The less, the better, I think, because if it's too long, then your brain's going to come up with 1,000 excuses not to do it.
Okay.
So, especially when you're starting, like, I would say ideally it's 5 minutes or less a
Okay.
day. If you're trying to do
Wow.
it daily, right? Like, because if you're like, okay, I have to go dedicate 20 minutes to this,
Yeah.
right? But like now I've worked all day and I have to make dinner and I'm tired and like my back hurts, right? Like I just can't journal today because that 20 minutes feels really long.
Yeah.
So if you can really try to shorten it down, and I don't know if you've ever read it, but have you ever read Atomic Habits
I
by
have.
James
Yeah.
Clear?
Hmm.
Right. So like he has his 2 minute rule. Like if
Hmm.
it's longer than 2 minutes, then like forget it.
Yeah.
Journaling just takes a little bit more time because you're writing.
Hmm.
So I would say 5 minutes would be the best. And
Okay.
then even like if you're using one of our products and it's like a work page, and like my perfectionist brain would be like, well, I have to finish this workbook page before I
Yeah.
can leave because it
Yeah.
would like drive me crazy to leave it
Yeah.
halfway done. But like you could.
Yeah.
Other people do that and like they're fine.
Okay.
So
Whatever. Fucking
yeah,
bitches.
I
Yeah.
I don't understand that personally.
Yeah.
Wish I did, but like if you could do 5 minutes,
Okay.
you could literally, for people who are suffering more with like depression,
Mm.
I would often encourage them to do one sentence.
Okay.
That's it. Because that's
Wow.
manageable, but it's also like boosting your confidence a little bit to be like, look, I can do things, right?
Mm.
But for depression specifically, if I set a goal for 5 minutes, and I'm too depressed to do that, then now I feel more like a failure. And that's
Right.
making me more depressed. Right. So, like, sometimes I'll just be like, write one word, write one sentence for the day, and that's it. And then you could,
Wow.
right? Like, you're like, okay, I did something. Like, I checked a box, and that helps us feel better.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting you to say 5 minutes. And then when you said one sentence, and in my head now, like in retrospect, that makes so much sense. But that's not what I was expecting you to say before. I was thinking like, you do like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes is like, you've done some journaling, like you've gotten kind of into the thought process, maybe a little bit. But 5 minutes seems so much more realistic, especially when you're starting. It's like,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, I'm not gonna if I just got done with a long day of work, I don't want to sit down for 20 minutes. It's so much to do.
Yeah. It's just so much more work,
Right.
which, like, it's just not realistic that you'll want to.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, mental health is often one of the things that gets pushed to the back burner when we're feeling burnt out and tired,
Mm-hmm.
because more work without like an immediate payoff just doesn't seem worth it.
Okay.
Right? Like, long term, logically, you could be like, yes, I know this will benefit me eventually. And like, I'll see, all these great things that happen in my life if I do this. But
Mm-hmm.
in the moment when you're like, I am exhausted and I cannot write for 20 minutes, you're not, right? And then you're going to feel bad about it. And that's just going to increase, like, feelings of shame and all of these other things that are not productive.
Mm-hmm.
So you may as well do something that where you can get a win.
Right. Yeah, and especially with depression, I related so hard when you're like literally just do a sentence, because there is no way I'm doing like anything when I'm depressed. So one sentence, I feel like I might be able to do that. Even a sentence, I'm like, I don't know if I'll do a sentence even. So if I can do a
Yeah.
sentence, I'll be like, nice.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, even getting a word feels like something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is meaningful, even if, like, the word is like something that you look back on and you're like, what
That was
was
so
I
stupid.
doing in life? Like, that was dumb. But
Yeah.
you are teaching your brain that you can do things, which with depression specifically is really important, because your
Mm-hmm.
brain is spending so much time telling you, right, like, that you can't do anything and you
Yeah.
never will ever again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm really good at convincing myself that it'll be like this forever in every
Oh, yeah.
depressive episode I have. Just every
Yeah.
time. And then I forget how I get out of
Every
it.
time.
Every time
Yeah.
too. It's great. I love it.
And I mean, it's like, I think that's the other thing about journaling, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is
Mm,
like, it might work for this one season of your life and then it's not. And I think, like, telling people that that's okay too.
mm,
Maybe it's just not that season in your life where this is helpful for you. So don't do it. Like, why would we spend time doing things that are not benefiting us in any way? And then, like, maybe something else changes and suddenly, all of the stars have aligned here, and like, journaling is now really helpful for you. And that's why I do always want to keep saying, like, journaling is a tool. It's not like the be all end all of how are you going to make your mental health better.
Can I just say this is how I know, this is how we know you know what you're talking about, and you're not just like trying to bullshit us, because I feel like most people when they're trying to when they have a product, when they're trying to sell something, they'll be like, first of all, it's really easy. You just gotta do my thing, buy my thing, do it, make it a habit, and then if you make it a habit, your problems are
That's it.
solved. GG, like
Yeah.
go next. You're good for life. But you're not doing that, which is realistic. What you're saying is, I have this thing. You do it when you need it, when it's a good time for you to do it. You set realistic expectations, and then after, you're not going to solve all your problems on the first one. After a certain time of being consistent with it on and off, you don't have to do it every day. Maybe you'll start noticing a difference, and it won't be big, but you'll start noticing a difference. Like, and that's realistic. That's how people who know what they're talking about, that's how it works, because they've gone through that experience and they know how it feels.
Yep.
But a salesman,
Unfortunately.
a businessman, yeah, who isn't licensed, is going to tell you, oh, just buy my online course. Buy my online course. Watch my videos. All you have to do is watch them. You don't have to do anything. Just watch my videos, and I guarantee you, by the end of it, you'll be an enlightened person. You'll be like the Buddha. Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that for me.
Oh, me too. Me too.
But I mean, I've bought many journals and many courses, and I still don't think I'm the Buddha. So because it hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
Right. But I do, like, that's what I want with All Minds is like, yes, like now it's my business. And so it is a business.
Right.
Obviously, I would love for it to make money because I would like to not be broke putting money in a business.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we didn't start it because we wanted to be billionaires. Like, we started it because we want people to experience something meaningful.
Right.
And realistically, meaningful takes forever. Like it's not necessarily me. It's not necessarily my product that's going to be that thing. Like, I hope it is. I hope that you find meaning in it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. It's something we've talked about, like, around the New Year's, was setting goal setting. And I feel like goal setting is really difficult because goals have an endpoint. They have a destination, but that's not really how life works. There's not like a destination where you just like finish until you're dead, you know?
I know.
You're on the journey like the whole way, you know? So you're going in a direction. You're not really going to a goal.
Yeah. And I love directional goals, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's
I think they're way more meaningful to your life because like mental health doesn't end.
Right. Exactly.
Until you're dead. In which case it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So that's you've achieved it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that's so funny. Yeah,
like I do think like that is, I think, such a unique challenge to this field too, right? Like, it's not like physical health where I could say, you know, I'm going to be able to bench press 3,000 pounds like by the end of this. Like, I could achieve that. Well, I mean, I couldn't actually achieve that goal, but like maybe I want to bench press 150. I could work and I could eventually do that. And I would be like, look, I achieved this goal and I can see it. Mental health is more complicated, right? Because people are more complicated. I could say I want to do better in these, you know, communication patterns that I have with people. And sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, but I'm still always just trying.
Right.
Until the end.
Yeah. Even with the example of working out, like, you want to bench press 150. What are you going to do once you bench 150? Are you just done? You just stop working out? You know what I mean?
I hope so. If I've been working out to bench press 150, I think I've finished.
You're like, rest of my life, I'm sitting on my
that
ass.
Might be my whole life goal. Like, just always try to bench 150.
Respect. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I think that's a good place to kind of end our conversation on that. So what I'd like to finish with is kind of an impromptu journal prompt. Impromptu journal session.
Me, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I could see the pain in your eyes when I said that. So, yeah. Could you give us like a less than 5 minute or 5 minute journal prompt? I have my notebook. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to write it because that's what you told me to do.
I'm going to write it.
Yeah. So can you
Yeah,
give
I
us
can give you
a
I can
journal
give you a
prompt?
prompt.
Yeah, and
Can I
we'll
give
kind of do it.
two so that people can have options?
Yeah. So they'll do one or the other, or what?
Yeah, just do one or the other.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it about a specific topic or just anything?
Yeah. Let's say it's about like people who overthink or feel like they're kind of stuck, like they're kind of stuck with where they're at in life and not moving forward, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, my first one's going to be a little basic, but
All right.
really important. Okay. So the first one will be, what does it feel like in your body to be stuck?
Okay.
Right? So really focusing on somatic awareness of like, what is the physical experience of being stuck?
Okay.
All right. My second one will be, what will it be? It's going to think, I got one. Don't worry.
All right.
Got one.
Wait, give me a second.
Think about something in your life that feels really easy to you.
Okay.
What makes it easy? And how can you use that to make your growth feel easier?
Okay. All right. Can you give them to me one more time? Both of them.
Yep. So, of the second one.
Both of them. Both of them.
Okay. So, the first one is, what does it feel like in your body to be stuck?
Okay.
And then the second one, think about something in your life that feels easy.
Okay.
What makes it feel easy? And how can you apply that to your personal growth or mental health, whatever term you want to use,
Okay. All right.
so that that feels easier too.
Okay. I think I'll go with the first one. I'll try the first one. I'm gonna put a 5-minute timer on. Is that good?
Oh yeah,
All right.
you know
get
me,
going.
5 minutes,
And then
certainly long enough.
done. Never
And
again.
done.
And all of our problems are gonna be fixed, by the way. It's my
That was
expectation.
not the therapist wording here, so just have it be noted.
Okay. Okay. Can you repeat the first prompt? Actually, let's have Gopal do the second one. He's asking what everyone's writing about.
Oh yeah, I can just repeat it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the first one was, what does it feel like in your body to be stuck? And the second one was, think about something in your life that feels easy. What makes it feel easy? And how can you use that to make your growth feel easier?
So pick one or the other, Gopal.
Pick
Or
one or the other.
you've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes to write about it. About 30 seconds. All right. And that is 5 minutes. That felt strangely fast. I don't know if anyone else felt like that was quick. All right. Did
I
you
felt
do
like it
one?
was fast. I did.
You
I
did.
wrote one.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
My very tiny notebook.
Let me see. Let me see your tiny notebook. Oh, that's average. Come on.
Nuh-uh. It's miniature in
Oh.
comparison to my actual notebook.
Oh, that's huge. Huge notebook.
This
By
is
my
one
standards.
that my business partner sent me from Greece. So
Gotcha.
got the important stuff in it. Like this journal prompt.
Nice. Nice. This journal prompt made it into the important one. Let's go. All right. All right. I kind of want to share what I wrote. Do you mind sharing what you wrote as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. Also, if you guys don't have to share what you wrote in chat, but if you would like to kind of summarize or say a few words of what you wrote, or maybe like one sentence, feel free to share or not. Up to you. So I answered the first one about feeling stuck, like what it feels like in the body. And when I first started answering, I forgot that it was about being in the body, and then remembered halfway through. So
Perfect.
great. So I said, feels like I'm a failure when I'm stuck. No motivation to keep going, directionless. Then I remembered it was about the body. So I said, neck feels tight, like I'm going to cry, but nothing happens because what's the point in crying? So the tightness stays there. Kind of getting at things feel meaningless when I feel stuck. And then I said everything's heavy except for my legs, which feel weak. That was it. My 5 minutes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How did it feel? I'm gonna therapize you now. Sorry. How did it feel to write that?
I wasn't expecting to write the part about crying. I knew about the tightness in my neck, because that's often, I get that a lot, a certain tightness in my neck when I start having stress or sadness. I often get like a tightness right there. And but I wasn't expecting to realize that a lot of times I'll get that because I'm having multiple different emotions, and that'll feel like I want to cry a little bit, but then I'll think to myself, well, like, what am I crying about? Like, there's no point in me crying right now. I'm just crying about nothing.
Yeah.
It's my logical brain. So
yeah. Well, next time turn the logical brain off, and you should cry anyway, because it does help you regulate. So you would feel better.
Look, men don't cry. Please don't quote me on that. But yeah.
I wrote that one down in my tiny notebook that you said that.
Uh-oh. That's not
We'll
good.
get to it later. It's fine.
All right. What about you? What did you write?
Okay. I actually went the opposite. I started writing about what it felt like in my body, and then I was thinking about what it felt like in my head. So
okay.
I feel a lot of the same thing. I wrote, when I feel stuck, I feel a lot of tension in my shoulders and upper back. It feels like there's like a weird weight sitting there that's trying to both pull me and push me, like in opposite directions. And so I just can't move anywhere. I often feel a small sense of like just constant like nausea, because I feel like I should be doing something, but I don't know what to do, and I can't figure out how to do it. And so I just always feel a little bit nauseous. And then often my feet hurt. I didn't actually expect that one, because like some of those I kind of knew, but I wrote down like my feet start to hurt more when I feel stuck. And then the last thing I wrote was overall, my body feels heavy and slow, but my mind feels really fast.
Okay. Yeah. That's something that I didn't write, but now that you say it, that's definitely something I experienced too, is the feeling that I should be doing something, but I'm not doing something. Even if I don't know what the something is, I'll be like, oh, I'm wasting my time. Oh God, I'm not being
Yeah,
efficient. Yeah.
not a great feeling.
No. I feel that like almost all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look
I'm
at us
sure we could have a whole
perfectionists.
nother conversation about how society drives that another
Oh
time,
yeah.
but
Oh, I'm sure. And that would be another hour-long session. There's
yeah,
never enough time. There's never enough time. This is why
no,
we need to do the journey books.
man, really paralleling my experience as a therapist here.
um I was gonna make a joke and say this is you're never gonna do stream again because there's not enough time in the stream.
I'll actually, on a real note, I do feel like 90-minute sessions should be the standard.
You think
And we could
so?
probably, I think so. I've done a lot of 90-minute sessions for EMDR because that's
Oh,
like technically
wait, EMDR.
that is the
What's
standard. That's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. If
oh
you've ever seen the one where they like wave their hands back and forth?
no,
No.
this is new to me. No.
It's a very popular trauma therapy. I
Oh.
think it's been around for, it really got big, I think, in the last like decade or so.
Oh, okay.
But it's been around for longer than that. So I was trained in that, and they do 90-minute sessions because it accounts for usually like the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes. So like a half hour of wasted time, essentially, right? Like checking in, how are you, making sure you're okay before you leave, like wrapping things up so that you still get an hour to do work.
Okay. Wow. That's
So we hit the sweet spot here is the moral of that long story.
yes,
We made it 90
yes.
minutes and
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah. Okay. I want to be mindful of your time. I did promise people that we would do Q&A. Is that
Okay.
do you have time for that or
Yeah. Still no
no
screaming
screaming yet?
kids, so I
Okay.
should be okay. Should
Let
be
me
good.
know when a kid has a mental breakdown. We do call it Meant to Be Mondays for a reason, so I get it. Maybe I'll start screaming
Yeah,
in a
I
second.
told them to keep it downstairs at least. So
Keep your screaming downstairs, kids.
yes. Yes.
All right. Let me pull up the questions really quick. Oh boy, we have quite a bit here. All right. I'm gonna just go in order of when I received them.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this first one is from Adri. She's also a mental health streamer. That is the other person I did a co-stream with, but it was on her channel. Okay. So she says, as a therapist, how do you manage staying emotionally grounded, such as not absorbing or becoming overwhelmed or triggered by your clients' stories when listening and tending to them? That's the first part of the question. It's kind of a multi-parter here. For someone
Okay.
who struggles with that, but is interested in and has been advised to become a therapist, is having space for your clients while keeping yourself emotionally grounded a tangible skill that can be developed, more self-healing that needs to happen first, or something else? Let me know if you need me to repeat any of that, by the way.
Okay. As far as what I would do is when I was in graduate school, I did learn like specific practices to help, and some of them are actually in the journey books too. So the biggest one for me was called response flexibility, which is a mental shifting practice of like I'm shifting out of a specific emotion into something else. And that one is a skill that you can learn. It's challenging to learn for sure. Like it has taken me years and ultimately did not work for the whole time, which is part of the problem.
Mhm.
So I think there's that. Like I was very intentional for most of my career, except toward the end of like how many clients I was willing to take and what that schedule would look like. Because at one point, I was seeing 10 hours of clients in one day. Like I would do 10 sessions
Whoa.
in a row. And that is the biggest thing that contributed to like me getting really sick was I think
Wow.
that amount of load where I did not have time to even like think about what a client would say because I would be in
Yeah.
the next session like immediately, every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds
Um,
crazy.
so I really, after getting sick, I really had to learn like how do I practice these things, and like the biggest one for me ended up becoming energetic boundary practices, which are
Okay.
literally boundaries that you do of like how do I protect my energy and my space. They're the hardest boundaries to learn, but really being intentional to work on energetic boundaries and how am I going to make sure that I am staying separated from the stories that I would hear from my clients, which were awful. Like I would be hearing the worst of the worst doing the work that I was in at that time. And those really helped me. And I think those are skills that you can learn. The other thing that was really helpful for me was having support from other therapists.
Hmm.
So, like, even after I finished my license and all of that, I would stay in contact with other therapists just to have other people to be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what are
Yeah.
we all doing here? Right. Because
Yeah.
it's lonely. Like, it can be a very lonely profession,
Yeah.
and having people that you can consult with and talk through cases with and support you
Mhm.
was like very important to me. And I think
Yeah.
that kind of in a roundabout way answered all of those questions. So like yes,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
are skills that you can learn. Yes, you're always going to be doing work on yourself
Yeah.
because it is impossible as a therapist to not get triggered by your clients. At least I think, like in my experience, like that doesn't happen because
Yeah.
you're in it with them. Like of course you're going to feel a lot of things.
Mm, mm. I have so much I want to say about that, but I'm gonna just move to the next question because being mindful of
Okay.
time. All right. Do you have ADHD? If so, what are some of your favorite ways to manage it?
So I don't have any diagnosed ADHD.
Okay.
So do I think I have ADHD based on my own diagnosis of myself? Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um my favorite ways to help with ADHD are honestly some of the basics. Like I am very much a list person, or else my
Mm,
brain goes all over the place. So like I do write like a lot of lists because I will come up with 98 different ideas of things I should be doing and then not have any idea what any of them were. And then I'm really stressed that I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
yeah.
So, and I write them everywhere because then I see them often. Like there's
Right.
probably whiteboards all over the house with different lists. And I like for me, that really is helpful.
Mhm.
The other thing that has helped me a lot with like ADHD specifically, and this is where I think meditation and breath work come in, at least in my life, is like practicing that and being more aware of my own body experiences and more in tune with that has helped slow things down
Mm,
because I start to recognize when I'm feeling really frantic, which just makes my brain go crazy. And so now I can practice things that are intentionally slowing down my body. And
mm.
that has been really, really helpful for my often chaotic brain.
Okay, so we've
The
solved
other side of that
ADHD
was
now
like
too.
therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Therapy, I think, helped me learn how to manage it
Hmm.
because I had to learn how to sit like and not be crazy and then also be very present with people.
Uh,
Right? Because like as a client, you would know if your therapist is in La La Land somewhere else. Like you just feel it.
yeah.
And so it was very much a skill that I had to learn where I would literally just sit in silence. And my family thought it was so weird because they're like, why don't you talk? And I'm like, "I'm just listening. That's all I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to move. I'm just
Hmm.
going to sit. I'm going to be here. It's going to be great." And that actually did help. It was very uncomfortable.
Okay, so
Did
are you
not
not
enjoy
crazy
it.
now? Did that solve it?
I'm still very crazy.
Ah,
If
damn.
you could ask any of my clients, they'd probably be like, that lady is wild. I would like come up with all sorts of random things to do in therapy. Bring in
They're
punching
like, there's a
bags and like,
wacko
let's
job.
throw things at the wall. It was very fun.
Wow.
Loved it.
Maybe, are you interested in going back? I think I might need a
I
session
don't
now.
know. I do like throwing things at the wall in therapy sessions.
Yeah,
Things
that
that don't
sounds
break.
fun. Well,
So at
debatable.
least in my professional space, because then I would probably face a lot of fines. So they didn't break.
Nia says you sound like the best therapist, and best is in all
Oh,
caps, just so you know.
thank you. Thank you.
And GoPaul followed that with anything less than, quote, that lady is amazing is not acceptable. So GoPaul
Thank you,
also hyped
Paul.
you up. Trev says next MenTP Monday is going to be streamed live from the Rage Room. That'll be what I'm gonna call
That would
the
actually
space
be
for me.
that
The
would be
Rage Room.
fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
All right, so we have 4 more questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
By the way, if you ever have to
Yeah.
go, you just let me know. All right. Oh,
I'm
hi,
good.
Avogando. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, we're doing questions right now. You can drop it in chat, or there's a link somewhere in chat. You can drop it in if you'd like. Okay. Ooh, this is a bit of a long one. Let me see if I can summarize this one. This is very specific. Let me see. Okay. I'm gonna read it. And I'm gonna do a little bit of paraphrasing. So,
Okay.
let's say you have there's a parent who has unresolved trauma, but also narcissistic behaviors. Okay. How does the child convince that parent to see a therapist? Let me see if I need to add anything else. Ah, yes. So if somehow you do convince them to see a therapist, how do you then make sure they don't gaslight the therapist into thinking that they're perfect and not a narcissist? And yeah, how do you go about that?
Oh, well, I'm busy now, so I have to go. I'm just kidding.
You're like, next.
Narcissism is a difficult one for sure, right? Like it's one of the personality disorders. And so one thing to be aware of is, unfortunately, as research grows, like this might change, right? Like right now, when we look at personality disorders, we really don't see necessarily a ton of growth, especially with narcissism specifically because of what it is.
Right.
It often will become a way to further manipulate other people, right? Because now they get the language of the therapist and now they can use it against you, which is not always the case. Like I am definitely generalizing here. Like there are some people who do change and I don't want to discount that, but it is something to be aware of. And it's something that like I would experience as a therapist, like working with people who had narcissism was tough. Like sometimes I thought it would be better if they weren't in therapy
Wow.
because I did feel like sometimes I was almost giving them tools to make it worse. And that was not helpful. The other thing to kind of note here is like I tend to view narcissism on like a much more broad scale. Like full narcissistic personality disorder is pretty rare as like an actual diagnosis. Like most people don't meet the criteria. Like we have different levels of narcissism. And so people in the lower levels can go and like see great success.
Okay.
As far as like convincing somebody with narcissism, like unless you figure out how to convince them to convince themselves to go, you're probably not going to get very far. Right? Because like ultimately, like that's who they're buying into is them, not
Yeah.
you. So
Wow.
like there's unfortunately like there's a book that's really great like called Disarming the Narcissist, which really does focus on like with narcissism you really do have to learn how to play their game to make sure that you are okay, because that is what it is. And like I could go on for this for a long time, but without getting into too much, is like
Mm.
you have to figure out how do I function in this relationship so that when they are doing these things, like I can recognize this pattern, because there is a very specific pattern that most narcissists will use. Um, and you almost have to outplay them. This is a very short answer to probably a much more long-winded
Yeah. This
thing that I
one's
could talk
a
about.
tough one. Yeah.
This one's a tough one, right? And as far as like manipulating the therapist, I mean, there's not much that you could do about that if you're
Right.
not in the room with them.
I feel like when I
Because
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like reading that question, um, it seems like this person is potentially trying to find control in a place where there is not much control to have. So they're asking like, well, what can someone do when there's a parent who has unresolved trauma, has narcissistic behavior? They mentioned you know, unresolved responsibilities, gaslighting, escalating recreational drug use. Like, what do you do in that situation? Like, how do you fix that person? A lot of times
You don't.
you can't. The other person like has to be aware of the problem and then has to want to resolve it too. And if neither of those things are happening, I don't feel
Unfortunately.
like it's possible. Yeah.
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 And I think like with narcissism specifically, the goal really becomes how do I protect me in that
Right.
relationship?
Right.
Right. So that I don't have to feel like I can control it,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can kind of let go of some of that, like, because that's not your responsibility.
Right.
And you could try everything in the book to try to convince them that they should change, but like that's, I mean, this is true across the board with people, right? It's not just narcissism. Like if the person doesn't want to change, they won't.
Right.
And nothing you say is going to change that for them unless they decide that it's going to be true. And they decide like,
Yeah.
yes, I want to change this now. And
Yeah. I
that's, I
think
think it's very, it's very hard for people who feel helpless in a situation like that.
yeah, I think you kind of put it beautifully too, where it's like you were kind of getting at where you have to turn it back to you. Like you can control you. So like maybe redirect that energy back to yourself and how you feel about it, how you can be okay. I think that was really great.
Yeah,
Hopefully that answered that person's question a little bit. I feel like that's a
a little
very
bit.
complicated question, which requires a very complicated answer that we simply do not have the time for in this stream. Maybe another day, though. Maybe. Okay. Um, what was it like to stop seeing your clients and professionally break off those deep client slash therapist relationships? I'm assuming that some of your clients saw you weekly and for years. Was that hard for you? Was it hard for your clients?
Yes to both. It was extremely difficult.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, some of the clients I've had for over 5 years, and I would see them every week. So that's a lot of sessions
Mhm.
that we did. So for me, like there has been a lot of grief in that decision, because while I do love therapy, like I just felt like I personally wasn't the therapist for others right now.
Mm.
Because, and I think that's the problem again in mental health, is like because there's a shortage and like it's our livelihood, you have to just keep working, but that is damaging to other
Yeah.
people. And especially working with the trauma that I worked with, like that is the worst thing that I could do, would be to continue to hurt these people based on me. So um it was it was very challenging. Like for me, I told them, months in advance that I was planning on not seeing clients anymore so that we could really start to prepare for that. I was, of course, helping them transition. I think like it is sometimes really helpful for other people to get a new therapist though, especially once you've seen them for years.
Hmm.
Like while I try to learn new things and find what is going to work, sometimes your time with one therapist is just over. And I think that's okay.
Hmm.
Like, I think it's okay to find somebody that has a different style or a different personality, and you can grow more from that than just being with the same person forever, where you kind of know what they're going to do. So, while I think it was very challenging in a lot of ways, and it was certainly really difficult for me to make that decision, like I think we all kind of came to a good place at the end, like in our last sessions together, where we were able to really look at like what has changed in these, so these years that we've been together. And now what can you go and do with somebody else moving forward, or not going to therapy anymore because you have these skills. So sometimes I also think it's like it is a good way to get people off of the therapy crutch. Right? Of like, you
Yeah.
have it all. Like go live it now. Like you don't. And that was definitely true for some of my clients. Like they didn't need me, but
Mm.
they were scared not to have me.
Yeah.
And so by me being the one that's like, okay, well, I'm not doing this, like now I've given you everything you need to be okay. And then they were. And they're like happy about it. So
Yeah.
that
It's
was
kind of like the push
another
they
long
needed in
answer.
a way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you reminded me of someone else I really admire, which is he goes by Dr. K. I don't know if you've heard about Dr. K. But he is someone who
Maybe.
streams on this platform.
Okay.
His username is HealthyGamerGG. He specializes in
Oh
video game
yes, yes.
addiction. There you
Video
go.
game addiction. Yep.
Yes. And so he says one of the things that he doesn't like about modern therapy is a lot of times people don't need therapy for an extended period of time. They only need it for a specific amount of time to solve maybe one or two problems they have, and then it needs to be cut off. But then they just keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah. And there's like
Yeah.
no point in keep going other
Yeah,
than to
because it's
dismiss.
comfortable and it's
Yeah.
safe, right? Like there's so many things, and unfortunately, like people feel like it's the first real like relationship where they've felt seen and like all of these really complicated feelings, and that's what you're holding on to.
Yeah.
But I do think like that becomes a problem too, because then you're keeping that part of yourself away from everybody else who's actually in your life, whereas your therapist is not,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Like they're there in the therapy room, but they aren't in your life.
Right. It's a
And for
business
clients, like
relationship. It is.
it is, right? Like, and it's confusing because it is so vulnerable and it
Mm-hmm.
is so impactful, but it's also not real
Yes.
in your life in a way. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I don't know how to explain that because it's like such a weird thing,
It's
but
complicated. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Like you care and you want to care, but you also
of
can't to a
course.
degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get through these other questions as quickly as possible. All right.
Okay.
Um Oh, okay. I think it like separated this one maybe. Okay, here we go. As someone who doesn't really quote believe in journaling, in your professional advice, how would you motivate someone to stick to journaling long enough to see long-term benefits? By believe, I mean that I've tried journaling before in the past, stuff like daily stream of consciousness, what's on my mind, goals I have, long-term and short, for the day, or even replaying and writing down conversations. Could also be just that journaling is not for me, which is okay. Curious what your thoughts are. Do you need me to
Yeah, I
repeat any
mean,
of that?
it
Okay.
could be,
Uh-huh.
right? Like could be that journaling's not for you. I would say try something else, right? Like there are so many different options
Mhm.
of what journaling could look like. It doesn't have to be stream of consciousness. It doesn't have to be I'm writing about my day. Like you could draw. Maybe you have like an artist journal, like, and that's what you do. Like, there are so many different things that you could try. And I do think like people who get bored with just the stream of consciousness benefit from having something that's already there. Like this is telling you what to do.
Yeah.
So now you're going to focus on like the specific thing. So that's what I would try doing.
It feels easier. Also, I don't know who this person is. I would recommend you try the 7-day challenge that you made for us, which I'll talk about when you leave. But
Okay.
yeah, it's like it's so much easier to just like read something. It tells you what to think about, and then you do it. And
Yeah.
for me, it's more fun because it's like you're doing something new every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I like journaling, but I'm worried some people might misuse it by merely acting as an echo chamber for their own disordered thoughts. I've seen it happen before in a friend who experienced psychosis. A way to
Hmm.
visualize it is the scene from the movie Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, where the insane. Wow. Okay, this is like a description of the movie. Okay, so someone writes purity of essence on a sheet of notebook paper, paranoid about drinking water and engaged in violence based on incorrect conclusions. He drew diagrams, wrote phrases, made incorrect pattern matches with political issues. Anyways, I think that getting help from a trusted, healthy friend or therapist is important as well. Are you warning customers about this issue and encouraging them to go outside to get outside help instead of being alone in the process of treating mental health issues?
Yes. Yep. It's in
Okay,
all of our journals,
next question.
right? There's a disclaimer. There's a disclaimer. And that's like, that's why we started this new thing that we're doing with the membership is like, I do think you need people. You need people to talk about it. And that is really important.
Yeah, and even earlier on in the stream, I asked pretty much this same question, which was like, is it just as effective as therapy? And you were like, there is a space for both. You know, some people need
Absolutely.
therapy, some people can use therapy for a certain amount of time, but then don't end up needing it. Kylie's done a great job, I feel like, of saying there's a place for journaling, there's a place for therapy. Something might work for you, something might not work for you. I feel like she's done a great job just being open about what works and what's realistic. Okay, last one, I think, unless anyone added one. Nope. Okay. Last one. Do you think the saying once a cheater, always a cheater is accurate? If not, have you seen examples of anyone who had an affair and then has changed their moral code to disallow themselves from cheating afterwards? How do we know they aren't just hiding it better? Quote unquote absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, but maybe there are other ways to gauge the honesty of the person.
Oh, that's another complicated one.
Yeah.
So I will at least start with saying, like, I honestly didn't like doing couples therapy. So I
Okay.
didn't do it a lot.
Okay.
Couples were not my thing. So I don't have a ton of experience myself working with affairs. I know that there is the possibility of that. Like, their affairs are just so much more than cheating,
Mhm.
right? And like, again, we don't have time to like get into the complexity of that. But when you really start looking at like what was underlying cheating behavior and like what kind of is happening mentally and emotionally and connection wise, like you can heal from that and then the behavior stops. Like I know that that is something that can happen. How you decide what that looks like, that comes down to the individual of like, what are they doing to earn my trust, right?
Mhm.
And what am I doing to make sure that they feel safe and vulnerable and like all of these things in a relationship. Um, so I can't fully answer that one. Like I do know that people can heal from affairs. Like that was something my supervisor did. That was like his specialty was affairs. And yes, it can happen. But again, like you're basing it on, do people really want to change? Right? Do they
Yeah.
want to stay in that relationship? Like there's just so many different factors that go into that that it's unfortunately not just a really easy answer.
Yeah. So it's yes, but it's like situationally dependent.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Kylie. Last thing before we let you go, and I'm sorry we've kept you for much longer than intended.
That's okay.
What is, if you wanted people to remember one thing from our conversation today, what would you want it to be?
I would want it to be that if you're doing anything for your mental health, you're doing enough. No matter
Right.
what it is or what it looks like.
Okay.
That's it.
I like that. Nice.
And I think I saw, to answer one question that I think I saw in your chat of
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
would I have people throw at the walls? It sounds disgusting, but it's oddly satisfying. A wet tissue. It sticks to the wall.
Yeah.
It's very strange experience, but that's what
Wow.
it is. You can throw it really aggressively and it like splats on there and it's nasty to clean off, but it's very satisfying.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yep.
Throwing a wet tissue. I imagine that makes a really
Dunk it
nice
in water.
noise too.
It does, actually. It does. Yes.
Wow. All right.
Quite
Well,
enjoy.
that's what I'll remember is wet tissues on the wall
Yes.
from our
Yep,
conversation.
that was a good
today.
thing to end with here.
Great. Great. Okay, Kylie. If people are interested after doing this 7-day challenge that you have been so nice to curate for us, where can they find you? Where can they find the journey books that you have also made?
On our website, allmindslv.com. You can follow us on social media platforms at allmindslv. Please share.
Awesome.
Join us.
Guys, if you resonated with any of this today, if you found it helpful, if you learned something, please follow All Minds LV, Instagram. Where else are you at? What other socials?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
TikTok,
Facebook,
YouTube,
I think. I don't
Facebook.
like the social media stuff, Facebook and LinkedIn, although I don't know anything about LinkedIn. So the big ones, though,
The big ones,
Instagram,
guys.
TikTok.
So yeah, follow her on there. She's doing great stuff. Check out the website. And if you're interested, if you feel good after doing the challenge, consider getting a membership if you found it useful. All right,
Thank you
Kylie.
so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. You were so great. You're so great. We'll talk
Thank
later,
you.
but thank you
All
so
right.
much. Have a great rest of your night.
Bye.
See ya. Wow. Woo. Yo, that was great. That was great. I had so much fun with that. Genuinely. I don't know if you guys could tell. You guys could probably tell how much fun I was having. Oh god, I just love conversations like that. I just love it. Like I had such a good time doing that. Oh, wow. She is so good. Is she not? Like, was she not amazing? She knows so much. You can tell she's walked the walk. She's not just talking out of her ass. She has gone through the mental health ringer herself. Like you can tell she has worked on herself. She's done the research. I mean, obviously she's licensed to work with people as well. But you can tell it's more than that. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, they don't have that extra factor to them where it's like, I can tell you know what I know what you did, you know? I know that you've done this, you know? All right. Let me respond. Oh, wow. I'm like getting off a high almost, I feel like. Yeah, she's great. W therapy. Great conversation here. Thanks for doing this. Really engaging and informative. Thank you, Norse, for telling me that. Makes me feel good that like people got something out of it, or I don't know, whether you're like entertained or you learned something, or I don't know. I mean, how are you guys feeling? I'm feeling great. I feel like I'm coming down off a high. That was great. I love conversations like that. That's like one of the things that keeps me going. Yeah, she's great. W therapy. That was really good, Dale. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Why couldn't my therapist swear like that? Who is that? Nia, thank you. Oh, also, I feel bad for missing this. Avogando, thank you for the follow. I felt so weird, like not responding to chat all the time because that's usually what I'm doing. It felt so weird, like there was times where I just had to. I was like, this person said this. I like couldn't ignore it for too long, but thank you for the follow, Avogando. I read that it changed your life, that journaling worked for you, and I was curious when you said that, how it changed your life. Hopefully you're still here and can answer, but how did it change your life? Like, what did it do for you? Like, do you still journal? Wow. Yeah, hug to the person that submitted. Thank you for coming back, Nia, by the way. One journal when you rip and burn it and stuff. Just clean it before it dries. Wow. I might have fucked with my therapist more if they dropped the occasional. Dude, mine does that. Mine's great. I don't think I could have a better therapist for me than the one I currently have. I feel like it would be really hard for me to find one better than the one I have. Also, I grabbed my bottle and then didn't drink from it. Wow. Wow.
I tried everything.
I'm gonna play some music. I can take off my headphones now. I just realized I don't know what the technical issue was at the start there. No idea. I honestly have no idea, because on my end I could see that it was coming through and that you guys should have been able to hear, but it wasn't. I was honest. I didn't want her to know, but I was like, I have no fucking idea what to do in my head. In my head, I was like, this has never happened to me before. So I was just like, yeah, this is like totally normal. This is totally normal. Happens all the time. But in reality, that specific thing with the audio has never happened to me before, and I had no idea what to do. And I tried something, and thank God it worked, because I would have no idea what to do after that. Loved her for real, dude. Yeah, my therapist swears, and it's great. It's great. My therapist does like stuff that therapists aren't supposed to do. But I love her for it. I love her for it. Done over 100 resets for a shiny Mewtwo? Okay, Trev. Which game? Which game, though? That's what I did while enjoying the stream. It was very epic. I feel like that's one of those... I will play RuneScape while listening to something. Just do something brainless. Very nice. Very nice. Green usually means moldy. So you don't want that. You don't want moldy Mewtwo. Alien Dance. Let's go, Eevee. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. I haven't played Let's Go, Eevee. Is that a good one? I feel like I heard good things around the time when it was happening, but I haven't heard anyone playing it in a long time. Shrek is green. How can you say this? He's a moldy ogre. Okay, guys. Real quick, let's get back to let's wrap up what we were talking about. So Kylie gave us a personalized Mentee Bee community challenge, which I'm really excited to try out. Okay, so we're gonna start tonight on that, and then at the end of it, she's coming out with this new Trailblazer journey book series. Okay, and I have a code. That's so weird to say. I have a code. I'm not sponsored. I'm not getting anything from this. I just really love it, and she gave me a code because she's chill and cool like that. But it's 15% off for the membership, and you get access to all of the journey books, and so you can kind of like peruse and pick which ones you like or which ones are relevant to you. Like one of the things we talked about was relationships. So one of them is about dating yourself, kind of, and what you need to do with dating yourself. And so you can pick that journey book and go through the whole thing. It's like 100 pages, that one. 100 pages, just the one. And there's 15 of them to choose from. And outside of those, okay, there's a bunch of other mental health tools that are just like included for free. It's great. Like, it's honestly such... Let me look really quick. Let me look at the other ones that they offer, or that they just have in addition to the books, really quick. They have stress SOS cards, back to school bingo, emotion playbook, breathing practices, digital detox workbook, 20-minute inner care workouts, comparison moments, tips for intrusive thoughts. And then they have like ones for the holidays, for New Year's, that are like cutesy little simple ones too. But those are all extras in addition to the, there's probably like 1,500 pages worth of actionable workbook stuff in these series books. I've looked through them. There's so many. There's ones on emotional intelligence, psychological stretching, telling people your story, shadow walking, dating, just being on a journey like of life. There's so many. There's so many, and you just pick which one's relevant to you in the moment, and you do it at your own pace. It's amazing. Okay. But yeah, you get access to all of them if you're interested. If you like the conversation today. Again, not sponsored. Not sponsored. I like her shit. Okay? I just like it. And I believe in it. So that's why she was on today. That's why I'm telling you about it. Anyways, so we're doing a 7-day challenge. All right, let me pull up the challenge. If you haven't already seen it, I put it in the Discord. It's in the Discord already. By the way, if you want to join in the challenge, this is the Discord. Actually, I think I made a... Nice, did it. Challenge, there it is. That's the Discord link, and I have it in the community challenge text channel. Okay. Yes. Where is it? There it is. All right. And I'll show you guys what it looks like really quick. Boop, boop. Beautiful. All right. Nice. All right. Let me pull up my screen really quick. All right. That's not what I wanted. One sec. Boop. Boop. Second try. Nice. That's, again, not what I wanted. Oh my god, I'm pulling up all of the wrong ones. Gosh darn it. Oh, okay, here it is. Nice. Beautiful. Here it is! Okay. So, you can see this is kind of like... it's like a little taste of what the journey books are. Because in the journey books, there's so many things. Like I mentioned on stream, she has inner care workouts. She has breathing practice. She has like coloring pages. She has quotes that are like motivational, but also there's ones that are from people like James Clear who are more practical. There's so many things. There's so many things in her book. I remember I listed like 20 things before I just stopped listing them because there's so many things that are in her books, okay? But this is like a little taste of them. So each day, so like today, for example, it says day 1, why haven't I started? And so it says a little bit about avoidance, okay? A little bit about what that means and a little bit of validation, you know? And then it just says write for 5 minutes about what prevents you from getting started on growing or why you're still stuck or what have you. Then that's it. That's day 1. The next day, it's something different. So the next day, it's writing about fear, supposedly. Then the day after that, it's about control and things you can't control and things you can't control, okay? Emotional awareness. And so each day, it's something different until the end, where you kind of like reflect on the week, okay? And then there's like information on, you know, if you liked that, where to go, which we already know. But yeah. So if you would like to, I would recommend, especially the person who asked that one question, in the Google form earlier, to give this a try. The non-believer in journaling, to give this a try and see if this feels different. Because to me, it's a lot easier if someone just tells you to do something than it is to just like freeform write. So yeah, also if you do this, you can use my code. Again, I don't get any kickback. This is just shit I believe in, baby. It's Menti_B_15. You get 15% off a full-fledged membership to get access to all the books. Pretty cool stuff. Sonic and sleep is not what I expected when first coming into the stream. Yeah. You're so right. Also, you missed the bulk of the stream, but that's that's okay. We had a therapist on today, which was super cool. Super cool. We talked a lot about journaling. She specializes in journals and has her own business about journals, but also just like about mental health in general. Different tools and techniques to use. So much aura in the Dale nightclub. I know. I'm sad to have missed it. It's all good. It's all good, brother. I'm gonna post this stream in particular on YouTube in the full length. Usually I don't post on YouTube, like stuff other than shorts, like not full-fledged streams. But I will be posting this one. And then the VOD will also be up, but I feel like it's just nicer to watch on YouTube, so I'll have it on YouTube. I'm gonna be on that VOD like flies on candy. All right, fair enough. All right, so yeah. I mean, what did you guys think of the stream? Did you guys enjoy having someone on? Did you guys like that sort of style where it's kind of, I felt like I was kind of interviewing her, so it felt like an interview to me. Did you guys enjoy that? Would you want to do more of that? Would you like to have another therapist on? Because I'm gonna bring more people on, but the next two that I plan to have on aren't therapists. Would you guys want another therapist on in the future? And we have like a different topic. I don't know. I'm gonna say you definitely need to post this. Yeah, I will. I don't know, like, I don't know if I need to edit it. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to you about it afterwards. You're my go-to for YouTuber stuff and editing. Definitely be watching that. Was disappointed to be at work for it. Yeah, I was a little upset that you were at work too, to be honest. Just because, you know, I like when you're here. But yeah, it was really, I had a great time. I had a really good time, just genuinely. I feel like I keep saying that. The more I say it, I feel like the less you guys will believe it, but I really did. I just like, I don't know, those conversations are like, they keep me alive, I feel like. That was awesome. Heck yeah, okay. This is nice. This is validating. That was fun. Heck yeah. Liked it. Cool. Did you guys feel like, okay, because like there were periods where I noticed people were chatting. I didn't read all of the chats because like it's just too hard for me to, maybe I'll get better at that. But I don't know. Did you guys feel okay with that? Did you guys feel okay with just like sometimes that I didn't see the chats and like didn't respond to them? Or like just kind of watching and listening? Loved all of it, and both of you go Paul? You loved it? The way I know Gopal loved it, Gopal was like Gopal told me a few days before the stream, he was like, hey, just so you know, I am as excited for this as I am for the new Spider-Man movie. And if you know Gopal, that is saying something. That is saying something. Always here in spirit. You're in my heart. You're in my heart. I know if you could have been there, you would have been there, and that's enough for me. Yes, I like the interviewing style. Heckers, yeah. Kept the conversation focused and also covers more variety of topics. Only concern is that the first part probably went on too long, and then questions went, yeah. That's something I will need to work on. in the next one. It's so funny. Before the stream, my worry was I didn't have enough questions, like, prepared. I didn't even ask all the questions. I didn't get through even close to all the ones I had. There was a lot that I wanted to ask that we just did not have time for. Yeah, I didn't manage the time well. And I thought around the halfway point, I thought I was. Then we got to the journal, like the impromptu journal part, and I was like, yeah, I did not fucking manage that well. I was like, wow, we are gonna be stretched for time. But yeah, in the future, I'm gonna have to prioritize the questions a little bit better, and then also make sure there's enough time to fully get into the Q&A. I also didn't expect there to be that many questions, if I'm being honest. Before the stream, I had one question. So I was expecting like 3 questions. And there was like 8. I think there was 8 or 9 questions total. When I looked, when it was time to do it. Yeah, so I feel like it's hard to gauge how many questions is gonna be. Yeah. But yeah, so but in the future, I that is something I need to work on, the time management part. Holy. What's holy? What did I must have done something, I forget. Yes, the policy to almost completely ignore chat was good. The question form was available for written question, and that kept the quality of the conversation up. Nice! Okay. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Because I didn't want to, like... I don't know. I knew I wouldn't be good at, like, trying to look at chat and at the conversation. Like, and focus on the conversation. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna focus on the conversation. And then that's kind of why I made the form, was I was hoping that, like, if there were important questions people wanted to ask, that they would feel comfortable putting it there. And then there would be, like, time for that, you know, like, time to just do questions. Oh, you were shocked at Gopal saying he was like, oh, I know. So you know Gopal, you know that is like, that's like saying he's about to meet God, basically. And that's how excited he was, and I was like, oh my. So I feel like Gopal was just as excited as I was for that. Okay, I had such a good time today. So I think, what are we doing on Saturday? I don't remember what we're doing on Saturday. I don't think we have a plan for Saturday, do we? I think Saturday we're just doing games. Just doing games on Saturday. Probably Slay the Spire, because I like Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is easy, because I can just, like, pause, look at chat, and then go back to it. Okay. So yeah, we're doing that. Don't forget about the challenge, guys. Would love to see some participation in the challenge. I'm going to be doing the challenge, obviously, and I'll be posting in the Discord, like, how it's going each day. You can do that if you want, or you can just do it on your own time, or update at the end of the challenge, whatever. I don't know. However you want to do it. Yeah. Next guest, guys. Next guest. Haven't told you guys yet, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Our next guest is none other than the grubby Tinky Toot. You guys should know who that is, but if you don't, grubby Tinky Toot paints Pokemon rocks. Has kind of blown up on social media. Just started streaming, I don't know, not too long ago. Quickly passed me in followers. Quickly, which I knew would happen, obviously. And she's great. I'm inspired by her, so I love her energy. I think she probably has I've heard her talk about her perspective on things, with different things, but in life in general. and I'm really interested in seeing what her perspective is. She has such joy. She's such a joyful person. I just want to ask about her. Like, I see her life. I see her paint rocks. Like, I want to know more. You know what I mean? I'm curious. I'm just naturally curious about this person and how she views the world. And I feel like a lot of people will get to a greater understanding of who she is through that. And we'll enjoy that too. So that's our next guest, Grubby Tinky Toot on Twitch. 10 out of 10 name, by the way, Grubby Tinky Toot. So I'm excited to host her next. That's gonna be, right now it's planned for April 13th. But it's kind of tentative too, because she is getting married at the end of the month. So I have a feeling she might have to readjust that date, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if that date sticks. But as of right now, our next guest is Grubby Tinky Toot. Then we have another guest the following month. But our next guest is Grubby Tinky Toot. I'm so hyped for the Grubby Tinky Toot stream, man. I can't wait for that one. Ooh, I'm excited to have people on the stream. I feel like it just, I love having new perspectives. I love having new perspectives and just talking to people and seeing how they tick. You know what I mean? Tinky Toot hype, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I feel like you can't watch Grubby Tinky Toot and just not feel a little bit better about your day. It's just nice to watch, first of all, but then her energy is just so magnetic. It's like she has such joy to her and such an interest and passion in what she's doing. I feel like you just like it just like emanates from her. You just want a little piece of it, you know? So I'm excited to ask her questions. I just grabbed a piece of dust out of the air. Anyway, yeah, so that's next stream. Not next stream, that's next guest. Anyway, let's raid someone, shall we? Let's wrap things up. Thank you all for coming today. It means a lot that people showed up today. It means a lot that you guys came, whether you just hung out, you came in for a little bit, or just tried to make it for as long as you could. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was so much fun for me. So much fun. It makes it so much better too when there's like people who are engaged, you know? That's the rock painter. Yes. Yeah. Hell yes, that's the rock painter. Yeah. I'm fascinated by her. I'm just fascinated. Truly. So I'm excited to see what's underneath the rock pile. We'll put it that way. All right, let's see who is potentially on. If not, maybe we'll find someone. I know I said I would only raid people I know, but... Oh, shit. Okay, this person just came back to streaming. We might do her. Yeah. I don't see anybody. Oh, well, Grubby Tinky Toot's on, but I always raid Grubby Tinky Toot, so... I feel like I need to give her a break. Let's do... So, this is Jazz. We're gonna raid Jazz. She streams Dead by Daylight. I'm a huge fan. She took a break from stream recently. And I think this might be her first stream back. She was going through it. She was going through it before because people on Twitch be people on Twitch. Unfortunately, sometimes. And so she just had an unfortunate experience, as did another female streamer. So please give her some love. It looks like she just started stream, so she's like 7 minutes in. Yeah, show her some love. Yeah. Let's see the raid. That's the raid thing. If you're following or if you're subbed. If you're not subbed, that's the raid message. Go ahead and copy them. I'll throw up the end screen and Thanks again, guys. I appreciate everyone. Norse, thanks for all the little bits you've been sending. Holly, thanks for the subarino, the big old primer. And Avogando, thanks for the follow today. I'll see you guys on Saturday. If not on Saturday, I'll see you next Menti B Monday. Thanks again, everybody. Did I not click the button? Oh, I did click the button, but I didn't click it when I thought I did. So we have to wait in awkward silence until I can let you guys in. All right. See you guys. See you guys. We're going in now. Have a good day, everybody.